Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Well, it's going. Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone out there in the chat. Yeah, it's been a busy one this past weekend, but yeah, I've had a good time and happy to be back here with you, hanging out and talking about whatever it is that we got to talk about today. So yeah, plenty of things in the news, including some breaking news, some stuff that just happened in the last couple of hours. So, but we'll get around to that pretty soon. Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, we try our best. We don't don't waste a lot of time. We try to be as on time as we can. Sometimes it's a few minutes to here or to there, but we do the best we can. Sometimes there's also could be a technical matter or things like that.
Yeah. What's important is that we're here now.
That is what's important.
And that our lovely friends out there in the chat are here with us. Rebecca Gold, boy, you are up extra early, sir.
You're welcome to join us, Ian.
If you want to come hang with us, you can. My goodness, you must have been up all night.
Well,
or he's got a real early job today. One or
the other. Maybe he's taking his nephew to see Superman again.
Oh no. Not that.
Oh, that wasn't fair.
Anything but that.
That was below the belt. I'm sorry, Ian. I apologize for that. I tried to stop myself from saying it, but I just couldn't do it. I kid, of course. Ian is great, so hope he knows that. In any case, I am going to send him a link, which he will probably do nothing with, but
that's okay.
He is invited, so I'm sending it to him right now. Ian, sending him a link. I'll send him a message too, and I'll write.
And I'm gonna tell a joke.
You tell a joke.
Of some
You're
kind.
welcome to join us, buddy. That's what I wrote to him. Because it sounds really professional.
Let's see here, man. Yeah, a lot going on. We last week you told us you had seen Obsession. It looks like you also had an opportunity to see Backrooms.
I did see Backrooms, and you saw Backrooms too. So we've both seen Backrooms.
Yeah. Have not watched Obsession, so those of you out there in the chat curious, I have not seen Obsession. I'm just not huge on horror movies. I did go I was curious, like, is this something I would like? So I checked out a real quick synopsis of it, and I was like, I can see why this would be, a solid horror movie, why people are enjoying it, but, just not my genre. Now, I say that. And then I say I saw Backrooms. Well, that's horror also, not my genre. But this just happens to be something that I was kind of introduced to years ago when this first got started on YouTube, like 2019, 2020, when the whole Backrooms thing and the creepypastas around it and stuff got started. I was kind of introduced to this whole idea and some of the mythos behind it and everything that started getting generated. So for me, there was a curiosity there as to how they were going to actually approach the material. Because, there's a ton of videos. Most of them have a style of like a found footage, kind of thing. And there's some video games that are based on it. I haven't really played any of them. But there's a whole thing, going on behind. This isn't a new concept, right? That they were turning into a movie. So they were kind of taking this Backrooms concept, and I thought, well, I don't know, it's getting some solid buzz. I'm kind of already familiar with this stuff, so I was curious as to exactly where they would go with it. Just having been kind of familiar with it already, so I gave it a try. Again, not a huge horror fan. But the short review is, it was okay, like maybe like 2/3 of a decent horror flick. But then again, it's not really my genre, so can be kind of hard sometimes to review a horror movie and kind of take it seriously and review it for what it was and what it is.
Hey, Goddess of Whim, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. Goddess. So nice to see you. We've increased our female demographic by 1. So now Indeed. I think there's 4 ladies, if we include Goddess of Whim, who watch this channel at least on occasion. What I will say is this: is that I have actually watched Backrooms and I watched Obsession, so we'll definitely have some things to talk about. I sent Ian an invite and he looked at it, which is nice. You know, and you look when you send a message, you can see that
Yeah, you
somebody
see a
looked
little
at it.
check mark.
I
Maybe
said, "You're
maybe
welcome to
he
join us,
checked it out.
buddy," and I got the check mark, and then radio silence. I feel like he's doing that thing where he runs away and hopes I forget that I sent him the.
Well, whatever it is, that's
It's
fine.
fine. It's
It's
fine. I
good. It's
understand.
awfully early for him
It's awfully
over there.
early.
Oh, and we have a mega geek who's
Oh
hopping on.
wow, wow!
Well, give him a
boy
moment
was I wrong.
to join us here.
Now I have to find his image, which I don't know where it is. Let's see if I can find it.
Hello. Hello.
Oh hey, how's it going?
Hello,
I
hello.
was just saying that I was sure you'd join us.
Yeah.
He was positive. He knew the moment he sent that there was no way you could turn down that
I knew
invitation.
that like this is it. That Ian was on board.
How are you guys doing? All right.
We're
Doing
doing
all
good. Let me do. I'll try to make it look better afterwards. Let me
Yeah.
first of all just get your image, so we have it here, so people know that you're here.
So, Ian, I think I saw on Twitter you've seen both Obsession and Backrooms. You got to see both of
I
these?
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obsession.
I have
was
too.
Obsession was better than Backrooms.
Much better,
definitely,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
very good movie.
The thing is, recently there's been a few. I'd say there's 4 movies that people were talking about when it comes to YouTubers making movies. It started surprisingly with Chris Stuckman, and interestingly, the only thing that Chris Stuckman may have in history later on, when looked at it, is that he'll be one of the first that did that thing where he converted his YouTube skills to being a director. But that's probably where his thing is going to end, unless he starts making really good movies, because that movie that he made wasn't very good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask you guys a question. Okay, right. So, what constitutes an independent movie? Because Backrooms got financed by A24. I think it was 10 million. Right. And the word independent means independent of everything. It means you solely make this thing. Now, if the guy who created Backrooms and A24 went to him and gave him money, isn't that the same as going to Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers giving you money to make Batman? So how
Well,
could you say that's an independent film? I'm confused, or am I wrong?
Well, I mean, the guy that made Backrooms, I don't feel as independent about him as I do as, let's say, the guy that made Obsession. Because I don't care who gave him money. He had $750,000. That is very little to make a feature film. So if it's under $1 million, I don't care if even the president of Sony opened like a checkbook and said, "Here's 750,000." I still think. If nothing else, it's a small film. You want to call it independent, you want to call it small. There's a lot of semantics we could choose here. As far as Backroom goes, if it cost around $10 billion to make, that is not so much as an indie as a very low budget studio movie. It's still impressive to take that amount of money and make anything. But to be fair, when we look at $10 million, we could already start thinking of like Godzilla -1. So in that sense, there are better movies to be made. And I'm going to say something else. I give props to this Kane, whatever Parsons, whatever it is, this kid that had an idea, did something on YouTube, developed it, then got people interested, got them to invest as an idea. He got to make a film at age 20. I respect all of that. The only thing is, and maybe there's some ideas here in terms of atmosphere and ambiance and quirky ideas that I didn't mind. When it comes to the actual movie and like a screenplay and an actual movie that delivers any kind of story, very flimsy in my opinion. And I think that, I hate to say it because I'm going to sound like the old jerk to say this, but he's 20 years old and it shows. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there wasn't substance more than he could offer. Like, that's the most that he could offer is what we got, because he's 20. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have much more to say, I guess, at 20 than what we got in this movie. I'm not saying that he won't have more to say in coming years as he grows and matures a bit, but I feel like there was something here like raw talent on display without much of a structure to hold it together. That was the feeling I felt about Backrooms.
It's weird because I grew up learning about screenwriting and there's a three act structure and all that. But then when you watch some of the modern films, okay, especially Backrooms, right, people seem to be forgiving, more forgiving. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Okay, this is a bit of a spoiler, obviously. The main guy in Backrooms, suddenly he's embraced inside of the Backrooms. It just came out of nowhere. No build up, no nothing. Okay. If it was any other filmmaker, if it was a Hollywood film, people would be going, well, why did that happen? Where's the explanation?
Mhm.
So I'm confused when it comes to independent films and when it comes to, sorry, the definition of an independent film and when it comes to screenwriting today, that people can give someone a pass because of certain circumstances and then other films they don't. So it's kind of weird today, if you know what I mean. If you went back 10 years, they'd never give someone like a pass. They'll go, no, that doesn't make any sense. That needs to be explained.
Let's
Do you
put it
know
this
what I
way.
mean?
If you said now that, I don't know, Jordan Peele made Backrooms and he made that
Mm,
movie, I think that a lot of people, even people that, well, you never know with the woke media, maybe they'd say he's a genius, but I think that some people would be honest and say, this isn't his best work. Here, the
mm,
guy is sort of like
Mhm.
an underdog. He's 20 years old. He came from YouTube and whatever. And honestly, I went to the theater. The theater was full, and it was full of younger people. And younger people, I'm going to sound terrible. I hate to say this. I'm not saying that all younger people, but a lot of younger people are really dumb and shallow and stupid. So I think that the movie interested them. I was actually rather intrigued. There were a few moments that they, like the crowd, which was a relatively younger crowd, like I tried to buy seats. I don't like sitting next to people in a
mm.
movie theater. Like I like it when there's people in the theater, but I like to sit on the side, hopefully where nobody will sit next to me. So I strategically choose an area that I think that I'll be the only one that sits sort of in that, especially in like smaller theaters. So that like I chose that strategic place and I already knew all the seats that were purchased in advance. So I had it on lock. Like I have my own row kind of on the side. And then I think 1 minute before the movie started, or after it already started, three young ladies came to sit next to me.
Mm.
And somehow, first of all, it annoyed me because I preferred not to sit next to them. But at the end, at least it was intriguing because I could see their reactions. Sort of, I could feel them reacting to certain things, and I could tell that they're kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying?
It's
That
the
that
reason
all
why.
didn't come out very.
Yeah, yeah, I
Well,
can I get what you're saying.
the reason why a lot of people went to see Backrooms is because millions and millions and millions of young people saw it on YouTube and they were intrigued. Same thing with it's not the same thing with Obsession because Obsession word of mouth went out saying that it's a really good horror film and kids love horror films, so they all obviously. When I was there, kids were fighting to get in because they had to prove they were 15. They had to show their ID, and most kids never had ID because most kids didn't want to go don't want to go to the movies, but Obsession seemed to actually want actually attracts young kids to go to the movies for some reason. And same thing with Backrooms as well. It's really weird, isn't it? Because obviously YouTube played a big part of the success that Backrooms has got. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, of
I
course.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
I don't
yeah,
completely disagree. Angry Sparrow says, I like to sit on the aisle. I like to sit not only on the aisle, but you know how there's like a middle row and then there's
yeah,
the
yeah.
side rows. You know what I'm saying? There's like you walk through this kind of aisle or whatever it is, but then, there's like another row on the side. Usually people fill the ones that are in the middle and the ones that are sort of like kind of up front and on the side. On a good day, I can just sit there by myself because there's usually only like 3, 4 seats there. And sometimes what I
Mm,
do is that I choose the seat in the middle. Like I choose it in a way that if there's a few people, they'll be stuck and they won't want to sit there because I've torpedoed them sitting together. You know what I mean? They don't want to
yeah.
flank me, so they wouldn't sit there. And this one time, I foolishly didn't think about it, and I didn't do the flanking. You know what I mean? I just bought the one that was on the aisle, and these
Mm.
sneaky ladies. They purchased the tickets next to me. People are saying, "Are they ladies of the night?" No, no, that's not fair. I wouldn't say
No,
that they were
not
ladies of
those
the night. Uh,
type of ladies.
they, they were not ladies of the night in this case. They seemed like young ladies. I was generally, there was something interesting about their reaction, and against other people, like you said, Mega Geek. There were some young people here, even people that I thought, aren't these people a bit young to be here? There was also one mother that came with like a kid, and he seemed kind of young, and I'm like, why are they coming to see this movie? This is so confusing to me. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like a phenomena, the thing with the YouTube, the rooms, the lore, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I like on the one hand, I don't have any issue with a guy like this coming out of the Hollywood system, doing something on YouTube, building his kind of his own IP, and making a movie and having an audience. I respect it. I really respect it. And if the movie was good, I would have been like the first to root for him. It's just the problem is the movie isn't that good. And yes, Mega Geek, it's getting a lot of passes because it's a young kid. He did some stupid
Yeah.
thing. Some other dumb young kids are going to, and they're enjoying it and whatever. So he's getting a pass. I don't think that the movie is that great. If anything, I would give compliments to the guy that made Obsession, because Obsession, first of all, he's already 26, which is better than 20. Even 26 is relatively young, but I think at 26, you at least can already start thinking of ideas of something to do in a movie. And I think that what surprised me about Obsession, and you saw it too, Mega Geek, is that I didn't feel like it was a filler movie. Every scene felt like it needed to be in the movie. It advanced
Yeah.
the plot from one place to another. It wasn't just, and Mega Geek, you know what I mean, and I always mention this here, that a lot of times you have these quote-unquote indie movies or smaller movies or low-budget movies where you see some Asian woman walking in the forest for half an hour. And there's like violins playing and stuff, and like you see like close-ups on flowers like blowing in the wind and things like that, and there's barely any dialogue. They didn't do that with Obsession. They had $750,000. That guy actually put together a screenplay. The actors, I think, do good, especially the girl, the one that plays
Oh yes.
I was really
The main
pleasantly
girl.
surprised by her. And I think that, like, even though you could say he's 26 or whatever it is, the idea of wishing, that some woman would love you, but not thinking of the consequences of what that may mean, when you're doing it the way you're doing it, like that kind of like a monkey's paw or a careful
Yeah.
what you wish for or a Pet Cemetery type of situation.
Yeah.
I think that the movie manages to hit some kind of strike a positive chord in the way that it presents its ideas. And I'll tell you this, Professor, even though you don't like horror, I actually don't think that Obsession was full on horror the way you think. Most of the movie plays out as more of like a supernatural, type of movie without a lot of like, gore or anything. I would say that only maybe in the final parts of the movie there's some developments that are a little more, horror-y, but it builds into it in a logical way. And I personally, out of Backrooms and Obsession, much more impressed with Obsession. Obsession for me, it's better
Same here.
than Markiplier's Iron Lung, which cost him like $3 million to make. It's better than Backrooms that cost $10 million, and it's certainly better than Chris Stuckman's whatever that thing was, Sherman Oaks. What was it called?
Shelby Oaks. I think it was
Sherman Oaks.
called.
What's Sherman Oaks? Why did I? What?
I don't know.
Sherman,
But do you
is
know,
Sherman Oaks?
That's
sorry, do you know Iron Lung? Iron Lung, okay, right. So I thought the same thing when they like said, "Oh, Iron Lung," and then I checked it out. The guy was nominated for an Emmy at one point. The guy who made Iron Young, he was in the industry. So again, I question these things when they say it was an independent film. And he had how much? 3 million? Okay, right. He had a big following on YouTube.
He
But
he at
still the
least
guy
I think
was in the
crowdsourced it.
industry. He
Yeah.
was in the industry. So how can that, it's like, Jim, look, you guys are probably too young. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how old you guys are, but you guys are maybe too young to understand when the revolution started with independent films. Because I was there. I was literally there with my first movie. Unfortunately, I didn't get as famous as Kevin Smith or anything like that. My film beat Kevin Smith's out in one of the festivals, which is in LA, New York. But nobody talks about that. That's by the by. When independent films started, they were truly independent movies, and distributing companies are picking it up as is and putting them out there, right? And putting money into advertisement. That is an independent film. But if you have a script and you go to someone like A24 and they give you 10 million, how can that be an independent film?
Well,
it's being sponsored by a legitimate Hollywood company.
Yeah.
So I question it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's pretty loose what they consider indie in Hollywood now. In reality, it's really just that, was it funded by one of the big studios? Was it Sony? Was it Warner
A24 is
Brothers? Was
pretty
it
big.
Paramount? They are getting pretty big. I'm not going to say they're not, right? But that's what I'm just saying, is that in Hollywood they still consider, like, Searchlight Pictures, A24, and there's a few more that, like, they still consider outside of the big studio system. But yeah, a $10 million movie, and you're saying that's indie? Like, indie, I mean, the 750,000, like, that's
indie.
That's indie movie. That's
see,
you're making your movie for less than $1 million today.
I would call Obsession an
crazy.
indie movie. I'd call Obsession an indie movie because that guy put up the money himself to make that movie, and it got picked up by a distributor, just like Clerks did. Clerks made their own film with their own money, got picked up by a distributor. Same thing with not the same thing with Reservoir Dogs, because Reservoir Dogs got money from, I can't remember what company, whatever, and stuff like that. So it's the same thing with screenplays as well. As I mentioned, you could have, a big movie could have mistakes, and then it's all pointed out depending on how much they hate the producer or the actor or whatever, and things get a pass. Like Backrooms got a pass. All of a sudden, that guy flipped on a dime, and there was no explanation for it.
Yeah, there was some things in that, and someone mentioned in the chat, basically saying it was Jeremy Johns. Said that, like, Backrooms was better if you know the lore. I would say that probably is the case. Like I said, I was already kind of familiar with it, which is the only reason that I was curious about it, since normally I'm not really a horror person. But even then, when I was watching it, right, there was this point where I was like, it was building, right? It was building that tension. It was building the mystery. And you're like, oh, what's going on? What's happening in this world? Who's this group that's watching what's going on? Who, how is he, he's exploring and learning more about the Backrooms. He disappears. Oh, what's going on? Okay. You're learning all of these things that start happening. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, well, first of all of a sudden you just completely change protagonists, right?
Absolutely.
That's just snap, and oh, well, okay, now we're following somebody else as our central character. And on top of that, yeah, like, you're right. There's stuff that's happening later on where suddenly, yeah, you're like, wait, why did that happen? Right?
Exactly.
There's nothing that kind of builds to explain why that particular turn in the film at that moment, instead of happening earlier or happening later, or like there's nothing to indicate why that happened. It's almost like the trained tigers at the magic show suddenly mauling the magicians, right? Why did it happen at that moment, right? What's the explanation? Like, everything was fine, and now they're getting mauled. Like, it's bizarre, right? It doesn't. It doesn't have a logic to it.
You have that scene, and sorry, it's sort of, I won't go into full spoilers, but you have that scene that he goes into that other dimension or whatever you want to call it, and then something bad happens. And then we see him standing there, and we're thinking, okay, well, he's trying to resolve this thing. Then the other lady, finds out about it. She comes and she wants to, seemingly help or whatever it is. But then when she gets there, it's like he's a different person. And it really didn't take a lot to do something. To add one scene in the movie where, like, add a 5-minute stretch in the movie that shows that this man, maybe some time has passed and he's gone nuts. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't know what's real and what's not real. Because to be from that moment to what we get, like, the next scene with that character, who seemingly until that moment was the main character of the movie, is such a cheat. You know what I mean? It's only some guy on YouTube who's 5 years old and appeals to young idiots could have pulled that off. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I know that sounded mean. I want to sound nicer. Maybe Mega Geek can help me. How can I sound nicer and not like such an asshole?
I don't know. All I know is that the people in power decide what true art is. which is bollocks, basically. I mean, this film shouldn't. I see no critic criticizing that fundamental fact in the movie. It's just weird. And again, I would go to the independent thing. A lot of people saying these things are independent, but when you look closely, they're not. Even Tarantino got money for his very first movie
Nothing
from a
is independent
studio.
anymore. Almost nothing.
Exactly.
I
Well,
will say
when Clerks was an
okay,
independent
but
film.
that happened decades ago. I'm saying that these days, I'll tell you
Yeah.
why. I can answer your question, Ian. Initially, there
Mm,
was something called independent, where people like, if you think of like Blood Simple from the Coen brothers, you had these
yeah.
kind of early filmmakers that they just went to festivals and they did the thing, and suddenly it was cool. One of these movies happens to get picked up by a bigger studio and gets released in the movie theater. It was a big deal. But then it became a circuit. Then it became that everybody already wants to go that route. They want to make their movie, they want to go to the festivals, and then to these festivals, all these kind of studios would go there to pick up these quote unquote cheaper projects, and they can mark them up, market them, and then make a big score. So suddenly, like I think that it evolved where it's no longer indie anymore the way it used to be. Also, with social media, with stuff like YouTube, with things like that in the past, you really could just take a camera and some friends and make a movie. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody's heard of you. You have nowhere to upload it, and then you bring it somewhere and you bring it to a festival, and people are like, "Wow, who is this guy?" And that was the only place you could find it. But the whole landscape has changed, and it's much more corporate-y, and these bigger studios know that there's an opportunity here, so they're already now, and it looks like in more recent
Monopolized.
years they've started going after these YouTubers because they started understanding that these YouTubers already have like a built-in audience, and they can pay them less money or get them smaller budget, and they can do these whatever movies that they make. They bring a younger audience. This is only going to happen more and more now. I think that we're going to see now a wave of like these kind of YouTubers that they give them money to do stuff. Some of them are going to be good, some of them are going to be bad. I think a lot of them are going to be shitty, but and maybe it's going to oversaturate the market with it because Hollywood is just these kind of studios are annoying jerk offs sometimes. So they'll just do one stupid thing and they'll keep doing it over and over and over and over again until one day they understand that
Mm.
maybe it's not making them the money they want, and they'll find some other stupid thing to do.
Well,
But
well, the one thing's for sure: the people in power always takes over something that's new. Like, for instance, when independent films were starting, the Hollywood system was confused. They were like, "How can we get into this?" And somebody came up with, "Okay, let's create. We're 20th Century Fox, right? Let's create another arm that seems to be independent, support independent films, but we still be recuperating the money. Yeah, let's call it Searchlight." Do you know what I mean? That's what they did. They monopolized the area of independent films. And the same thing that's happening now. They're looking at YouTube and they're seeing how many millions is that getting? How many millions is that getting? How many million? Oh, that's getting 10 million. Right, let's just contact this guy. Let's see if he's up for making something. The question is, right, yeah, the person's independent, but once the studio gives you money, can you truly call that an independent film? It's like, remember BAFTAs in the old days, BAFTAs in the 40s and 50s in UK used to make their own movies. Lavender Hill Mob, I can go on forever about the amount of British films that came out of England. Then suddenly the money disappeared after the war. So to give a BAFTA to a British film, they had to go, okay, so what qualifies a British film? Okay, the money came from France, Italy, Spain. Okay, right, let's ignore that. Let's just call it a British film because it was shot here. But is it truly a British film if it's financed by different European companies? See,
quick
and then because they couldn't find a British film, they changed the rules, and this is what's happening now. Call this a film an independent film? It's not truly an independent film
You're
if
absolutely
it's
right.
financed by
Nothing. It
yeah.
doesn't exist. I'll get to you in a second, but I just want to say that Irwin of Nerd Wars, there's a raid from his channel. Irwin is a really good guy, and I do stream with him from time to time, and very nice of him to send people over here. So I welcome you. Maybe some of you know me, maybe some of you are new and feel like immediately subscribing and following me forever. I'm here with Mega Geek and with Professor R2, and we're talking about cool shit. And now, what I will say is that I agree with you, Ian, 100%. And it's like, listen, uh, these kind of big studios, and it happens not only with Hollywood, it happens a lot of time in big business. You think they're going to let some people like be independent? They understood that there was another thing brewing without them, so they took it over like they do everything
Yep.
else.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
it's quote unquote independent now. Most of these people aren't. The only thing I can say is, you know what I think is independent? The guy that
Mm.
made Obsession, he wanted to make a movie and he didn't have
Absolutely.
the money to make it, and I think nobody gave him the
Absolutely.
money to make it. So
Mm.
apparently, for $800, he just self-funded some kind of movie that he made, and it wasn't like super professionally done, but he uploaded it to YouTube, and that one got millions of views. Based on the millions of views that this guy made a video, uploaded it himself to his own YouTube channel, that's how he got the $750,000 to do Obsession. And you know what?
Mm.
That is a path that I like. That is a path that I like. The fact that he first of all made like a full movie and put it on his own channel, and then they gave him like not $500 million to make a movie, but rather $750,000. He proved himself. Now, next time he makes a movie, they'll be like, "Here's 10 million. Here's whatever." Now, Hollywood is stupid. Next thing you know, they'll give him like $5 gazillion to make an MCU movie. But if they weren't, idiots, this is the way to build it. Steven Spielberg, he didn't become Steven Spielberg overnight. Neither did George Lucas. Neither did Martin Scorsese. A lot of these people at the beginning had to work with small budgets and show that they can do something. And then they're like, okay, here's a little more money. Here's a little more money. And
Mm.
I like whatever happened with the guy from Obsession more than what happened with the other people, because that guy made a movie for $800 and then got
It's
the
a good
opportunity to make one
movie.
for 750,000. That's the way
Mm.
I think that it should work. What I will say is, before I forget, what was I going to say? Oh, for example, on the other end of the spectrum, how do you think we got the Eternals? Okay, that shitty MCU movie. How do you think we got the Eternals? Because Chloe Zhao was a person that I guess I'm sorry, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I am speculating now. I want to say that here at Price of Reason Studios, I say a lot of speculative things. I'm speculating, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Chloe Zhao was like Chinese, but she didn't like China, and she had something to say. So she is a communist, but she doesn't like communism. Or who the fuck knows? She made some independent movie again with the Asian women in the forest, or the classic thing that they're like next to a trash can, or I don't know what the movie is
Mm.
about. Sorry, I didn't watch it. Okay, I'm going to go on a limb here and say it probably involved some lady like living next to a trash can and Asian women in the forest. If I'm wrong, I apologize. In my mind, this is what that movie
She won
was.
an Oscar, I think.
They came and gave her 70 awards. They said, this
Yeah.
lady next to the garbage can in the forest is the best thing we've ever seen. Take all the Oscars in the world. You're the best. You're the best filmmaker since Spielberg, since Scorsese. You're the best. And then she walked around, and then Kevin Feige's like, she's the best. Like, I need her here. Let's give her $200 million. She'll make the Eternals. And then she made it. And it was a giant piece of shit movie. You know what I'm saying? And I would never give her. Maybe people are like, well, she really excels when she has a little money. Good. Let her excel with $5. You know what I mean? Give her $5
Mm.
and let her make her Lady in the Forest or whatever the fuck she does. Sorry, Professor. And you're welcome to Google. Maybe it's not the Lady in the Forest. Maybe she made like a great drama. Maybe it was like a romantic comedy.
I think it was like a
fucking know.
lady living in a van.
Was
You
that?
know what? Can somebody Google and tell me what Chloe Zhao, the big movie was? What was the movie
Well,
about? What's the synopsis?
she had good timing because she was a woman and also she was a foreigner. And at that moment in time, Hollywood was into, women, power in women, and the not to be racist thing and stuff like that. And that's how she became famous. And well, not famous, but that's how she got the next gig. And then, do you know what I mean? It's all to do with what is it?
I want to debunk this,
social
though.
engineering. That's what it's all to do with.
I understand,
At
but
the
I
end
want
of
to
the
debunk
day.
this. I like Asian women a lot. I like them a lot. I'm not a big fan of
My
Chloe
mum's
Zhao. There's
Asian.
something that annoys me about her. I like Asian women. I want to clarify that. And
Mm.
I had no issues in Thailand. I am very good at. I won't get into it now, but nobody tricked me. If that's the
Yeah, but
I was not
Price.
tricked in Thailand.
Yeah, but Price though. Look, it doesn't matter what you could say anything. People always have a problem with it. As Professor Artu knows, me and him, we reviewed what is it, Spider Noir, and
Mhm.
I put in my review on Facebook. I said, that there's clearly some box ticking here, blah blah blah. And you should have seen some of the comments I got. Oh, you're this, or you're that, whatever, because I mentioned that, and it is a fact that those things are in the film.
Oh
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? So it doesn't matter what you say. You could say anything, and people still have a problem with it. So
Oh yeah.
what can you
The
do?
other day, I made a comment about the new James Bond video game that came out.
Mm.
Just saying like how it had been feminized and how this wasn't James Bond and so on and so forth. And yeah, I was called all the names. Oh, you're angry. There's a black woman in it. No, I'm upset that they changed a character to a black woman, and they changed another character to an Indian woman, and then he's rescued by women and bossed around by a female AI. Like,
Yeah.
That's it's like how many changes can you make? How feminized can you make the property before I'm allowed to complain about it?
It's interesting.
And the answer is, of course,
say that. Yeah.
They would. There is no end, right? At any point, it wouldn't matter if they changed James Bond and every character around him into women. I would not be allowed to complain about it because then I would just be a racist and a sexist and blah blah blah. Yeah,
exactly.
It's
See,
like
women don't realize that the very very people they're supporting is destroying what they are, which is women. That's what they're doing. It's crazy. That it's crazy how people can't see it, but they'll see it when it's too late. That's human nature, isn't it? That's the thing. So doesn't matter what you say, Price. They're going to criticize you anyway.
Well, they'll probably criticize. Yeah, they like criticizing me. But let me see for a second.
So the movie that you were talking about was Nomadland. Yeah,
yes,
and it's about a lady who loses her job. And she loses her husband, and she lives in a conversion van and drives around living like a nomad in a depressing film about being depressed.
I've seen it.
So she's basically walking around in the forest a lot, isn't she?
Driving around. I think she's driving around the American Southwest. I think
whatever. You understand what I meant. It was some piece of shit movie, and nobody wants to admit it's a piece of shit. And then they're like, "We got to give her all the awards. We got to give her all the awards." There was recently a movie. I reviewed it. I think I'm one of the only people that reviewed it. And from time to time, I still get like some kind of activist lady show up on the review and like complain. It was something, darn, I can't even remember the name of it. I reviewed it. East of Wall. East of Wall. Is that something like, is that a movie?
I've never
seen East of
seen
Wall.
it.
Let me see if that's East of Wall. So, okay. You see this movie, East of Wall? The critics gave it a 95%. Okay. It is the shittiest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It is a piece of shit movie. The only reason why they gave it a 95% because there's, first of all, they took, instead of real actors, they're like, let's bring ladies who ride horses or something, and they can be in the movie.
I've seen this one too. It's rubbish.
It's a shitty movie. It's shit, like you like to say. And I thought it was awful. First of all, the fact that they're not actresses, I could tell very much that they're not actresses and not in a good way. It is a movie with a ton of filler that goes nowhere and does nothing. And at the end, the moral of the story is the whole point of this stupid movie and why it gets a 95 is that there's a guy, and that's the only actor, Scoot McNairy, who's actually a decent character actor, the only real actor in the movie. He shows up and he's like, there's a woman who had a husband and he had a ranch with horses, and I guess he was really good at training them or something like that. So the husband dies or deletes himself or who knows what, and Scoot McNairy shows up and he's like, I want to buy the ranch. And he's like, you know what, you're so good with horses, lady, we'll work together. Like I'll bring the money and we'll keep this like ranch going. She has a lot of employees and these young people working for her, and he's like, we'll keep everything afloat, we'll do these horses things together. And throughout the movie she gets annoyed because she don't need no man. And by the end of it, when he thinks that they're going to go into business and be partners and work on this ranch together, mind you, he doesn't look like a bad guy. He seems like a decent guy that's trying to work with her. By the end of it, she's like, I don't need no man, yo. And he's like, oh, all right, well, I'll leave then. And then the movie ends and everybody, like all the women are like, it's so great. It's so great. She didn't need him. She could sell and train the horses herself. Fuck that shit. Fuck that stupid movie. It is the shittiest movie I've ever seen. And it's filmed. It looks like it was filmed by a 5-year-old. And I did a very honest review about it. And like I said, until today, I still have like ladies show up from time to time to complain. I think 5 people have watched this movie. Me and the 74 people that reviewed it, the critics, and me are the only people that watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. It was rubbish. I totally agree with you.
Piece
Again,
of shit. Piece of shit movie.
how
Sorry,
how
Sean. Yeah, sorry, Sean.
how can
Sean's
you
been gone
respect
so long that I
critics?
don't even apologize to him anymore.
But how can you expect the critics if they're going to give something like this 95%? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, what can you say about it? You know, it's look, right, I love movies, okay? Unfortunately, it might be me because I'm old. It might be me, you know, because like when I was young, I when my dad used to say stuff to me, I used to think, yeah, because you're old. And now I'm this age. Am I doing the same thing? I have to ask myself the question there: is this kind of change that Price has just mentioned? Is this what's the new thing is?
No,
Is
you're
support?
asking, are
Yeah,
we the
is
old
it?
farts now? You're asking
Yeah,
if we're the old
exactly,
farts.
exactly.
Okay, okay.
In
I
a
can answer the
roundabout way.
I have I can answer the question, and I have some good news for you. No, they're the farts, and we're not the farts. See,
Okay.
normally up until maybe 10 or 20 up until 20 years ago, every generation was less farts than the one that came before it. You know what I mean? Every generation was
Mm,
a little more edgy, a little more cool, a little less fart. And then around maybe like 2000 to 2010, it all collapsed. Like we reached the pinnacle of that process. And now it's like the reverse process. Every generation that comes by now is dumber, more stupid and idiotic and loser shit than the previous one. Now, here and there's some outliers. I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush. Sometimes you see a young person, you're like, okay, that's, maybe this person is pretty cool. But, generally speaking,
mm.
these people that were born with like tablets stuck to their face and phones stuck to their faces and smartphones and all this stuff, they don't really have human experiences. All they do is have these stupid shitty things that they DM each other, and that's why their whole like emotional structure, how they feel, their experiences that they have, what they think life is, it's like they're living in some kind of strange illusion. You know what I mean? They have
Mhm.
no grasp of what reality even is. So it's no longer the thing of like the farts and the less farts. You know what I mean? Now they are the biggest farts that ever lived. You know what I mean? Like, here, I'll give you an example. Every generation had music that was more cutting edge than the previous one, more badass,
Mm.
more, harder music, more noise. The guitars were like more badass, more rock and roll, more this, more that. Everything was like pushing the envelope until we got to like 10, 20 years. Now it sounds like you're being tortured in an elevator. You know what I mean? It sounds like the same generic, like like you're listening to like an ad for laundry detergent, or you're in an elevator listening to the crappiest thing, and you just want to get out of the elevator because it's so boring. You know what I mean? They're boring. They're stupid and boring and conformists, and they just go with all their stupid, that connect their brains into their like smartphones or whatever it is. Now, it's not that I don't use a smartphone myself, but the good thing is I have the best of all worlds. I still grew up when people acted like regular people, so I know that I can,
Same here.
still be maybe too dependent on my smartphone and look at all this stuff. But if for some reason I turned it off and I walked around a few hours without it, I can do that too. And these, younger kids, they don't understand what that means even.
They are addicted
Mhm.
to their phones. It's not even a joke anymore. As I said, I love my nieces and my nephews a lot, and when they come round to visit Uncle Ian, basically they're on their phones. And I keep saying to them, why do you come round if your face is just gonna be on your phone? Do you know what I mean? They're addicted. It's like going back to the 40s when people used to smoke all the time. They used to think it's cool. But I think the kids don't realize being on their phone is really damaging them mentally. Do you know what I mean? It's destroying community as well, all this high tech stuff. So maybe they'll get it one day. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they'll put a warning on the phone like they did on cigarette packs. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe. Marla
Yeah.
Sharendorf says too many unoriginal films. There's also a comment here that I liked here from Radio Streamer. Can speak on this from experience. I have 5 nephews. If you would die without a cell phone, I would just go to work on radios in the shed and sit on the porch when I'm done. Um, I'll tell you something else. I have like, somebody in sort of a family
Price
member.
is on a roll.
What'd you say?
Price is on a roll.
I have somebody in my family who's actually like, a decent young man or whatever you want to call it. I think he's in his late teens or something like that. He's friendly. He's actually, in comparison to a lot of people in his generation, he's very nice. He's smart. He's friendly. He's likable. And I feel like he's a bit of an outlier. And even he plays with his phone all the time. He told me honestly, and he wasn't doing it to annoy me. Like I tried to remain calm because I needed the information. So I let him speak. And he said that and he told me that he and his friends don't even like watching movies that are 2 hours because they don't want to stay away from their phones. They like playing around with their phones. They either watch crap for some reason on Instagram. Who even watches Instagram? Who even is even on that platform? But apparently him and his friends like hanging around
lots of people.
Reels, watching reels on Instagram. That's like the bottom of the barrel. Like
Instagram, no, TikTok is the bottom of the barrel, but Instagram's awful close. Yeah.
Awful close. Instagram is one above TikTok. I'll give you that, Professor. When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. You know what I mean? TikTok is the worst. Then we have Instagram. But I sat there and I really, I'm pleased with myself because I was very calm and I tried to be understanding. You know what I mean? I understand so that he wasn't saying this to annoy me. He was just telling me the truth. And I said, and all your friends are this way? He's like, yes, they don't like watching like full-length movies. You have to sit in the theater, but you want to play with your phone and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, this is awful, Sorry, go on.
Sorry. Do you hear about Hugh Grant? Hugh Grant has kids now, and he was talking about the phone and everything, and he was saying that he finally got his kids to get off the phone and spend like a couple of hours with him and stuff like that. Then he gets an email from the school saying, we're proud to announce we're going to give every kid in our school a tablet. And he just threw his hands in it. He was like, "What?" He was I'm trying to get my kids off this media rubbish, and the school's going to give them free iPads.
This is all over the place, man. When you talk about this stuff, like the kids, they cannot get off these devices. They are absolutely addicted to them. And I'm not going to say there's not adults that aren't addicted to them too. I know I use mine way more than I should, but I do know how to put it down and sit and watch a movie for a few hours. I do know how to sit down and focus on a task for 90 minutes, a couple of hours, solid time just focusing on a task. Where there's a lot of these young people, I've had them in class, right? I have my son, and he tells me about the students that are in, with him in classes. And they can't, they need this hit, the dopamine hit from seeing who's liked their post on whatever social media platform. Like they have to be there, and they have this absolute fear of missing out, the FOMO, that they're not going to see the post from that guy, or they're not going to be there to make the comment that they want to make, so they can be clever and people will give them likes. And it's like they're addicted. They're absolutely addicted to this stuff. And yes, like you said, now we have a law. They instituted sort of a half measure this last year, saying, students can't have their phone in classes, but they basically drop their phones off in these pouch things at the start of class or whatever. But it was a complete failure because half the students would just not leave their phones in the pouches, right? And then they would sneak them, look at them under their desks or whatever when the teacher wasn't watching. So there's now law here passed, by the legislature in the state saying, starting with this next school year, bell-to-bell device bans. They're not going to be allowed to have personal cell phones out using them in the building on campus, right? It's just it's not allowed. But which I said from the beginning, that is what they should have done, because that's what the research shows. That's the only thing that makes a difference, right? The only thing that makes a difference is if they are just banned from using them during the day, period. But they go to class, and when they get to class, what do? The teacher says, get out your iPad. We're going to do this activity. We're going to do, and then you do, all of your work is on your iPad, and you submit all your work through your iPad, and you get all of your assignments through your iPad, and you have to bring your iPad home and charge it at night, and you have to, and it's just, oh my God. It's like, you're saying, well, you can't have your own personal devices, but here, we're just going to give you another one, and we're going to make you spend time on it all day long. And in fact, just in the last couple of months, there's been a huge backlash against an online learning platform here in the United States. It's probably in the UK as well. That a lot of elementary schools and even middle schools, some high schools have been using, that has this basically has material in it for the students, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you're going to spend an hour every day working in this online platform, and it's going to teach you everything you need to know about this, that, and the other." And essentially, they've pushed this into thousands of schools, and now the data is starting to come out. People are starting to look at it and say, there is absolutely no evidence that shoving these kids into this learning platform for hours a week is giving them any benefit at all. None.
Yeah.
There is no evidence that they are learning anything. There is no evidence that we are getting better outcomes from them spending time here. And you need to start telling us why it is that we're having these elementary school kids spend hours and hours and hours every week staring at iPads when it's not actually teaching them a thing. And here's the reality. Here's what it is. The teachers don't want to teach.
Well,
the elementary school teachers don't want to teach. So if they can just push the kids into staring at a screen for a couple of hours a day, then they're golden.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I know a lot of teachers. Now I know a lot of teachers, and they say like the kids are unruly, and so I just sit there and let them do their thing because there's no way of teaching them because they have grown up. This is how their parents has treated them, and they've grown up thinking that they can tell you anything they want and get away with it. And 9 times out of 10, they get away with it. I don't know what it's like in America, but in England, most schools are kind of. I remember when I was growing up, right, and I can't speak for you guys, when I walked into a class, when the teacher said, shut up, you shut up, you know? And then when they were calling the register, no one was allowed to talk or anything. When they were doing a lesson, if somebody spoke, the teacher would come up to you and smack you around the head, physically smack you around the head. That's the school I grew up with, you know? Today it seems very wrong, but there is such thing as discipline in the right places, if you know what I mean. But that's missing from schools and from families now. That's why it's getting a bit like that, I guess. I don't know.
Well, in a lot of the curriculum, what they're basically taught now is that they have to enable the kids to explore their own ideas or whatever, right? They can't tell them they're supposed to have structure except in certain places, and they have to let's just say they do let the kids get away with a lot.
They do.
And
They do.
Up to the point of there was a student in one of our elementary schools who said she was a wolf. And she wore wolf ears and a tail to class every day. And the principal of the school told the teachers they had to refer to her as a wolf.
What a load of rubbish. Well, what kind of sane person would agree to that?
I will say this is that I kind of empathize with this young lady who thought she was a wolf because I can't believe I'm telling this story now, but when I was maybe in my late teens or early 20s, I purchased contact lenses that were red, and it kind of looked like I was a werewolf, and I'd go to clubs and wear them, at that moment when I was in the club and I had it, I kind of felt like a wolf, you know, when I had the red eyes. It was really something unique. Then I didn't expect people to really say I was a wolf, and I didn't change like my pronouns to howl, wolf, or whatever it is. But I'm saying that my eyes were red, you know, and it was something really, really cool. Like I love that I walked around with red contact lenses. The best thing I ever did.
I
I don't know how I got
Argentum,
talking about that.
yeah.
Maybe because you're Wolf Girl. But to be
Yeah.
fair, when I did it, I was more like rock star cool and not like some lame bitch, you know. But your story
Yeah.
was interesting too.
Yeah, but well, Argentum in the chat, she does work with elementary school kids, and she says, I was told I can't tell kids no. I literally can't reply no to anything without risking losing my job.
That is absolutely crap. It really is. Teachers are not allowed to be teachers anymore, and that's why a lot of people are not becoming teachers. The idea of actually teaching a kid something so that kid will be better as he grows up and have a great foundation of morals and intelligence and stuff like that. You can't tell kids anything these days because they think they know it all. 9 times out of 10 they do, actually, when you think about it, because they know more about what they're doing than you do, because you're just guessing. But when it comes to logical things like mathematics, English and stuff like that, they need to listen, but they don't want to listen.
Oh, you mean the things they're supposed to be teaching them?
Exactly.
Mathematics,
exactly.
instead of teaching them about how many different genders there are, or
exactly.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Yeah, nonsense.
Caleb Levine says, "Price of Creeper, did you pee on things or mark your territory?" No, it wasn't like that. It was like, imagine that there's like these kind of cool raves and things like that going on, and like I show up and I'm a rather like decent during during that era I was like a halfway decent. I wouldn't say I was great looking, but halfway decent looking, and I had these like red eyes, and I looked like I'm kind of like a cool guy. I was in a rock band and things like that. So all that was really, really nice. It all kind of fit together. I probably couldn't get away with it now. Now, if I walked around with it, people would think like, who is that creep? And rightfully so. But sometimes when you're young, you can get away with something. So no, I didn't pee on people or whatever your question was. But thank you for asking that. And then we have some super chats, which is the Deadman79 who has his own channel where he talks about Star Trek. You should check out his stuff. Sorry I didn't get to it until now, the Deadman, and I'm happy to see you here. Somehow Price was annoyed. Yes, that is true. Somehow Price returned. I did return, and I am annoyed. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm annoyed today. I'm more annoyed than usual. I don't know why. I want to be a better person. I don't want to get annoyed so much. It's the Phobos who is a moderator here. That's what the shield means, right?
Yep.
Remember they called Hurt Locker an indie film?
It wasn't really. It wasn't
really. It was like James Cameron's wife who like already had his millions or something. I don't know what. It's not like she came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
James Cameron's ex-wife or whatever it is. I have nothing against her. It's fine. She made a movie, but like whatever. Then we have member for 4 months, Isaac 556 times 45. Thank you very much. Isaac is a good guy, and I appreciate you for being a member for 4 months. It's really cool of you. And then we have Jason Webster, also a friend of the channel. David's got a gun. David's got a gun. The whole DC world has come undone. WB studio executives are on the run. I think that's like Jamie's got a gun.
Yes. I do believe that's
gun. Something like that. That's what he was going to for. And it works. It works somehow. And thank you for this wonderful super chat. And for everybody that supports this channel. As I always say, we're not PBS and we don't bother people for donations, but when we get them, we're super appreciative. And we always appreciate the friends of the channel that support what we do here. And it's wonderful. And now, where were we? We were complaining about something. What was it?
We were talking about Obsession, Backrooms. We started talking about the Utes and how shallow they are, and how they make crappy movies. I will say this: you were, recently we have been talking about how. It looks like comic book movies are on the outs and they're moving towards video game movies. I say probably the next thing is YouTuber movies. People are going to be looking for YouTubers who have interesting ideas to start turning those into movies now. After these two movies have made huge money. I mean, come on. What's the actual total return now on Obsession? Right? I haven't looked at the numbers recently. Total gross 111 million. I think that's just domestic, but I don't think it has a big overseas. 155 total worldwide. 155 million on a $750 sub-$1 million budget, right? That's 155x return. right? That's wild, right? Like
Yeah.
they are going to be searching out possible YouTubers now to see who can make a movie, right? Not that we haven't had movies from YouTubers before. Uh
No,
we,
but this is the thing. That's what they're going to be chasing after now. This
yes,
is
it
the
will
new
be.
thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
and there,
Ryan's Toys Reviews already has a movie though.
Mm.
here's what I think the problem is, and it reminds me of the Zendaya effect. You know why Zendaya keeps getting roles and why she's in everything? Because she and Timothy Chalamet and stuff
She's
like that.
bland and inoffensive.
Bland and inoffensive to begin with, and checks off a number of different boxes where she's sort of diverse, but not
That
so much, or things like that.
diverse-ish woman.
Diverse
Yeah.
ish, exactly. That's what they like. It seems like a
Mm.
non-offensive choice
I
or
mean,
whatever.
she's the Pedro Pascal.
Although
female
I will
actors.
say, and I have to say this, I'm not a fan of her acting, and she's not my favorite actress. I still think that she doesn't annoy me as much as Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is on another level of annoying. He also goes around and preaches all day about politics. I feel like Zendaya, for the most part, until today, is just there's nothing spectacular about her, but she doesn't annoy me like that. I just think that she's overrated, but I don't have the same level of kind of being annoyed as I do with Pedro Pascal. I have to say that. But what I'll say is that the reason why they like somebody like Zendaya is somebody also sits there and said, "Hey, do you know she has 200 million social media followers?" The same thing with like Timothy Chalamet. You know that he has like a bunch of social media followers. Wow.
Mm.
People, when he went with like one of those Kardashians, they thought, "Oh, what's he doing? Like that's kind of weird." And the truth is, maybe he actually likes her. I'm not saying that he doesn't. He's been with her for a while. But when it comes to like building more social media presence and things like that, that's probably good for him. When they go to the studio as management, they will absolutely tell the whoever the studio is, "Hey, he brings like 100 million social media followers. So if we need to promote a movie, they're going to be listening to what he has to say." And
Oh
sometimes it's like
no.
a younger audience or whatever it is. So right now, what these YouTubers are, if some YouTuber is young and has, let's say, like, 5 million followers or whatever it is, and he makes like, movies about like, people like, walking around in a basement or whatever it is, and he says, "I want to make a movie about people walking around in a basement," they're like, "Fuck yeah, here." And they don't even have to give him a gazillion dollars. They don't have to Chloe Zhao him. You know what I mean? He didn't win any awards. They have no respect for the person. They'll say like, "Here's $1 million. Here's 5 million." Even if they give him 10 million, they don't care. Here's $10 billion. Make the movie about people walking around in their basement, which is basically Backrooms. You know what I mean? So he's like, here's a movie with the people walking around the basement. Great, and makes 100-something billion. Next time they'll give him more. But like you guys said, it'll be a pattern now. And now, not only that, they're going to find people that are not so good. They're going to find like trash or people that aren't very good that just have the followers hoping that it'll work. But then they're going to
Mm.
learn that not every movie is going to have that kind of effect. But
But
until
you
they learn,
know,
sorry, go on.
sorry, yeah, no, go. Just finish. Go on,
I'm just
finish.
saying until they learn that lesson, we're going to get a lot of shit, Ian. But go on.
Mm. Just saying that I look, I've known what I've always known, right? It is the content of something that makes something good, right? If you have 1 million followers and you have a YouTube channel and your content is shit, the studios are always going, doesn't matter if your content is shit, the studios are always going to be there and they're always going to want to you know want to be part of that. You see, the producers are that they've always been like this ever since the 80s. They always look at how much could this thing make, but it's always been about the art. It's always been about the quality of the content or of the movie that you're making, always. And they always seem to forget that. Do you know why they forget that? Because the people that are in charge do not know what is good. That's why they keep logging on to something that's suddenly become part of the zeitgeist. Oh, we should copy that. We should copy this. We should copy that. Hollywood, 10 years ago, was always about copying something. But at least when they copied something, they kind of try and make it their own. But now all they're doing is just copying and going back to what was before and giving it a sequel or whatever. And I can't understand why the people that are in charge don't see that, don't want to change. And a reason why they don't want to change is because they don't know what is good, in my opinion. I
Also,
don't know if you
the
guys agree.
level of the level of manpower that's been hired for these studios over the past 10, 20 years has gone
Yeah,
down significantly. You know,
yeah,
back in the days, and I'm going to go into some territory here that's going to be very problematic and maybe offensive. Back in the days, maybe you could say there was a boys' club of a bunch of assholes sitting with cigars and acting like jerks and doing whatever. But you know what? Some of those assholes had character. You know what I mean? At least like they sometimes they understood, maybe they weren't the ones, they didn't know what was cool and what was not. They'd maybe send like these kind of scouting representatives. Like when it came to music, okay, how they discover new bands, they'd go to these kind of small places with these kind of, a local band built a local following. They'd see that some, like, there's an authentic growth there, that people went and they did it, and they're like, okay, we'll try to sign bands like this. They didn't know themselves what was good or bad, but at least they could tell that there was a following, that there were young people were enjoying it. In a way, I guess that to an extent, some of that is happening now, I mean, now with this YouTube thing, but I still don't think it's as authentic as back in the day when they used to, like, take people that were out there doing something in real life and grabbing them. I don't know if that
yeah.
makes any
You're
sense.
right. No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely right. When Robert Rodriguez was around and Tarantino's around, at least they could see that there was talent there. But today, right? Again, look, I said this before. I saw this thing on YouTube, and it kind of made sense to me. And they were interviewing young people in the street, and they were talking about, would you go and see a movie? Would you see this? Would you see that? And then they asked one woman, and they said, "Do you watch TV?" And she said, "No." And then they said, "Well, what was the last TV show you saw?" And she went, "Nothing. But I do feel I've seen Severance because I've seen loads of clips on TikTok and YouTube." That's where we're going now, because they play the best bits of any TV show on TikTok and YouTube, and that's what the young gravitates towards. They put an emotional bit on there, and then you're scrolling and you see emotional bit, and you think, "Oh, that's nice." And then when you see another clip from, say, Ted Lasso again, you're watching it because of the last one.
Mm-hmm.
This is where entertainment's going. I'm so sad if that's where it's
It's very,
going.
very sad. And this person that I was talking to, this relative of mine, he was telling me something along the lines that recently, in the past few years, a lot of people, I guess on Instagram, I don't know why, they watch little clips from the show The Rookie. And then
Mm,
after seeing clips from The Rookie with Nathan Fillion, they ended up watching the show. So a lot of young people go and watch The Rookie because it was sort of trendy on these kind of social media things. Exactly like
yeah.
you said, Ian. And it's like,
Mm,
yeah, I watched a little bit of The Rookie. It's all right, I guess, but it's not like, it's nothing
yeah.
spectacular. It's not like the best show I've ever seen. It's all right. It's not like I've seen worse shows than The Rookie, but it's not the best show either, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think they want to skip over the boring parts and they just want to hit the emotional beats. This is
I
the
hate
young
that.
today.
I don't
That's
want
all
to
they
use the
want.
word hate. It's not nice because I want to be a positive person, but man, do I not prefer all those shorts. Anybody, the TikTok thing with the shorts and all that stuff, that's like the end of everything. You know what I mean? If there's ever like a moment we trace back when like the human race like fell off a cliff, it's shorts. I don't know why. It's like it's so stupid. It's like, people
Yeah.
are just like dumb idiots that they have to, for 30 seconds, you have to like stimulate their brain with a piece of shit. But it's not only with like entertainment, it's just also with news, with anything. There's real problems in the world today where most people are not going to do any kind of research to find out what that problem is, what the conflict is, what it is, and they'll just go and watch some TikTok of some person saying a bunch of shitty things, usually somebody paid for by somebody saying some piece of shit thing, and then they'll go around and they'll believe that piece of shit thing because they're conformists and they can't think for themselves and they're stupid jerk offs. Sorry, I
That's all right.
was too much, too much.
I know, it's all right.
We have some super chats. Let's look at those. Dutch Gradient. Hail, gent. If session grew more in weekend 3 than it did in weekend 2, this has only happened less than a dozen times in Hollywood history and almost never outside of holidays. Yeah, I mean, and I will say again, out of Stuckman, Backrooms, Markiplier, Iron Lung, or whatever that is, and this movie,
Mm,
Obsession is by far the best out of the four. Obsession, Professor, whether
I
you like the
agree.
genre or not, I will tell you this: that is a movie. If you went to see Obsession rather than Backrooms, I think that if nothing else, you would have gone out of that theater with an appreciation for a guy that took $750,000 and made a movie that is a movie. You know what I mean? And one
Sure.
that I thought was interesting, and had its own cool thing going for it. I'm not saying it's the best movie I've ever seen, but for $750,000, it has to be one of the best. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the best horror I've seen this year, put it that way, and I've only seen two. so, so there you go.
No, but it,
Yeah,
it was a pleasant surprise for whatever
it
they had to
was.
work with. You know, I
It
thought I
was.
thought that they did well. And by the way, somebody in the chat before said, you keep mentioning all these people, but Ian made stuff before Stuckman and all those people. Okay, I understand that Ian, who's sitting here, the mega geek, he has Rebecca Gold, which of course you
Mm,
should all follow. You should follow whatever this guy is doing.
absolutely.
Uh, I'm going to put this thing here in a second, but uh, Ian, what he did is that he actually created a series. It started as a web series, and the final thing that you did now that I watched, that was like more of a full. It felt
It's a
like a
movie.
full.
Yeah.
But how long was it? Remind me. It's been a minute since I watched it. How long was the last thing that I saw that you sent me?
It was 1 hour and 48. So
That was
it's
like
a movie.
legitimately a movie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
considering we talk about the $750,000, you didn't have $750,000.
No. I
You
had
had
thirty
like
thousand pounds. thirty thousand
Did you say
pounds.
you had
That's
like a
all I had.
sandwich? What do you have?
Yeah, two sandwiches.
You know,
Yeah.
like you were explaining to me that with your and you're
Yeah.
really I don't it doesn't get more independent than the movie you made, the last thing that
No.
you made. Uh,
Yeah.
Basically, there were situations where actors told Ian here, "Listen, like we have like a job that somebody's actually paying us money, so we can't do your movie today." And he had agreements with them that sometimes they would just tell him, "Well, we have a paying job, so we can't be here," or they just have a
The
job
day
that somebody pays
before.
them, whether
Yeah.
it's acting or not. They can't even be there that day, and he had to like
Yeah.
work around, rewrite scenes, and do stuff
Yeah.
just so that he can continue his production. That's really a difficult position to be in. And at the end of the day, you watch whatever Ian did, and Ian did put it together, like for almost nothing. And I can't
Yeah.
not respect what you've done. The only comment I had to you is that
Mm.
I really wish that this thing that you sent me was a little more of a standalone because it's sort of the continuation to a web series. But as a
Yeah.
business card, I do certainly hope that out of all the people that these studios look at, I really hope they do look at what Ian did, because I think that Ian, if given the chance to do like a movie, somebody gave him like $1 million to make a movie, I am 100% sure that Ian here would deliver a very solid movie for that amount.
But that's nothing compared to my very first movie. I made my very first movie in 1998, and that was before the advent of digital. I was shooting on Super 16, going one take, two takes only,
Yeah.
and that film cost £14,000. And we made that film. We made that film the same time Clerks was being made, and my film was up against Clerks in certain festivals, and also when I went to Cannes, it was there in Cannes as well. That cost 14,000, and it was hell to make. You'll finish at 11, 2 o'clock in the morning, get up at 9, and repeat the process. Shot in 2 weeks. Could you? I can't tell you how hard that was to make, but I was determined to finish that film, and we finished it. So that's what I'm saying. I look. I'm not a newbie. I've been doing this for over 30 to 40 years now, making independent films. So I know what I'm talking about totally. But again, it's all a matter of opinion, and things are different now. So all I can tell you is what I know. That's all I can tell you.
I will say though that I just looked and I shared what this thing called Rebecca Gold. That's Mega Geek's channel. Mega
Yeah.
Geek has some stuff here from his production. He has the web series, but honestly, I didn't see the movie that I watched a while back that you sent me. Where do people see that movie, or has it not come out officially?
Which one? Oh, no, it's not out yet. I'm just waiting for a couple of festivals
Ah, I see.
to
Well,
accept it.
I hope it does well in festivals.
Well,
The
it's
only
not doing well.
it's
It's
not
not.
doing well.
It's look. All right, so this is the first time I'm going to be speaking about this. Do you guys know the Rain Dance Film Festival? Right, it's
Nope.
really big over here. It's like
Okay.
Sundance. Okay, I applied for my film to be in that in the beginning of this year, and immediately a day later, I got this email back from some from Raindance going, "This is great. We love this film. It's independent. It talks about women, powering women, stuff like that." I even got a call from the woman out of the blue saying, "Oh, we love this film, blah blah blah."
Sounds good
And
to
then
me.
as the months went on, so I think the Rain Dance is going to start next month, the festival itself. As the months went on, I rang up and I was like, I didn't ring up, I emailed saying, so did my film get accepted? And then nothing, 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 nothing. And then suddenly you get this letter saying, "Look, Ian, we don't want to, sugarcoat this, but I think your film's going to be pushed out of it." I'm like, "Why?" But they never explained why. So I've got all the emails to back up what I'm saying. All
But
these
why?
emails
Why would
saying
they
how
push it
great.
out? I mean, wouldn't don't you deserve
I
any kind of explanation?
Okay, right. So there's two reasons why I think.
They
Because
Googled you and they found out that you're an asshole.
maybe. Uh,
They watched Mr. Brown's Alliance when they watched Price of Reason live, and they're like, "Nah, we ain't putting this guy. This guy,
well,
he talks to a puppet and a robot, and they say weird shit in the middle of the night. Can't have him in this festival."
well, you might be closer to the truth than you think. Okay, right. So if you watch Rebecca Gold very carefully, Rebecca is not treated like the females that have been treated in independent films now, because they're following the rhetoric, right? But my film doesn't follow the rhetoric. Also, I think what's going against it as well, one of the second scene in the film, you see the drinker, you see you see Nerderotic on a
Right,
laptop.
she's watching. Maybe that's what did it. She seems
That
to
may
enjoy
be.
watching Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
happens in his movie.
Yeah,
That the main actress is like the main character likes to sit around on her laptop and
a
watch
geek.
Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. That in
Yeah.
and of itself could have gotten you the
Could
disqualification.
have, yeah, could have. But they never really explained. I mean, they apologized because they were like, this one woman really wanted the film, but she said the people that voted for it pushed it out. And I suspect it might be that. And then I got rejected from another film festival, which is the same thing. They really liked the film. So I suspect the people that watched the film in the first place didn't see these things, and other people, the committee that watched it, was like, "Oh, wait a sec, you've got Price of Reason in there. I know that arsehole." Do you know what I mean? We're not accepting that film because of that. It might be because of that. I don't know, or maybe just think the film
I
is
will
shit.
say this. I will say this. I was really hoping that Price of Reason would be one of the shows she watches. I was a bit sad. I understand that I'm not the critical drinker and nerdrotic, but having her like have like a Price doll in the house or anything like that would have made me happy. I am sorry, but and that's the only thing that made me sad when I watched your movie.
But
Born to be
out of all of them, Price, I mean, I think I just got to know you when I was finishing the movie. If I knew you before, I would have definitely stuck you in, because I stuck everybody else in. But out of all of them, or all the big ones, from Gary, the only person that got back to me in my film, because I sent them all the film, was the drinker, and the drinker liked it, and he also wanted to talk to me about it as well, as on a private chat, and I spoke to him about it. There's certain things he didn't like about it, but majority he liked it. So I'm grateful for the drinker. Now I'm a bigger fan of the drinker than I ever was. But the others kind of disappointed me, really, like Dave Cullen. I thought Dave Cullen would get back to me about the film, but he
but I
didn't.
did get back to you, if you
You
recall.
did, yeah, you did, and a couple of other YouTubers did as well. But the big ones I thought might give me a break. I don't care. Just let me know what you think about it. I need to learn.
Right,
But
right, and
yeah,
I thought that I had a really like I had notes and I sat around and we
yeah,
talked
you
about it.
did, yeah,
I
yeah,
did like it, but I think we had a really kind of cool and
mm,
constructive conversation. It was a
yes,
lengthy thing. We actually
yes,
saw not on a stream. We just sat and talked to each other for like at
yes,
least an hour, if not more,
yeah,
just talking about it. So that was
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Born to be Down gave a $10 Rumble rant, and he says Price, aka Wolf Eyes, wins the Jerk Off Award for the night. Congratulations. Fair enough. Fair enough. I understand. And somebody asked here if maybe they snubbed it, maybe the movie wasn't good or something. I don't know what somebody was saying in one of those previous ones. And I'll
Mm,
say is I watched his movie. His movie did not have a budget, but I thought that he did a really, really good job with it. The only comment I made to him, and I think it's not a secret, but I'll tell you, is that I think that the movie is more enjoyable if you watch the web series. And I think that without the web
Yeah.
series, you're missing a bit of context for the movie, which is
Yes, you
why I
are.
told him that I liked what he did here in a way that I almost wish that it was just a standalone that doesn't even have anything to do with anything that happened prior. And then this movie would just be its own movie. And I thought that if that were the case, that would probably increase some of its odds of, like, being embraced. With all of that being said, I don't know why the festival would tell you they liked it and then say they didn't. Having Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker as people that she's a fan of, could have done it.
Mm. But you're absolutely right, because when I was shooting it, it was meant to be a continuation of the web series. But then when I saw all of it stuck together, I was like, this is a movie. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the only mistake I made was I didn't reshoot the short to include it into the film because I ran out of money. But it is what it is at the end of the day, and I don't regret making it either. So
No,
it's
you're
very
awesome,
different.
man. I wish I really, really,
Mm.
if there's a person that I'm rooting for and genuinely want him to succeed, it's you. Like, if you can,
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you'll have patience to do another one, but if you could do something else that's more standalone and just do that,
Yeah.
and that thing will do well, I'm all for that. I think that you totally deserve that opportunity, certainly more than a lot of these jerk offs in Hollywood. And like I said, I know you didn't make a movie about a woman sitting next to a trash can like Chloe Zhao, but
Yeah.
I believe that you would have done the Eternals more justice than Chloe Zhao.
Oh God, yes, I would have.
Well,
Then again,
Ian,
I probably wouldn't be allowed. Sorry, go ahead.
Ian, I've got a pitch for you, actually. So,
Go on in.
for your next movie. So, just hear me out. Okay, so it's a woman. Okay,
Right.
and she sits next to this trash can. All right, that's all I've got so far.
All right. Okay. I'm making a film about a orange
Bag
puppy
lady walking in the forest.
guys. I don't know. I mean, look, filmmakers like me, we've never been accepted into the industry. I mean, a lot of people talk about how Spielberg made it, but then again, he was in LA, and do you know what I mean? And Universal was just there. I was at a drive away from him. I live in freaking Wandsworth, where there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no studios. Because everybody's abandoned London. They're most of the studios out in Bristol and Scotland and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I didn't get work at the BBC because of racism, and now I can't get work at the BBC because I'm not black enough. Go and figure that one out. Do you know what I mean? So
you're not black enough, and you don't have enough letters.
Exactly.
After your day. Yeah,
Exactly. But one day I'm hopeful one day. But then I am getting older, so who knows? I'll keep trying. Anyway, let's get off this subject. Let's talk about movies.
Yeah, they're workshopping this in the chat, Ian. So she's wearing a bikini, a trash can bikini. We're gonna keep working on this.
That's good. Yeah.
Let's make that movie.
Oh, hold on.
But why is she in the bikini? You have to think deeply about, like, why is she next to the trash can?
It's terrible, isn't it? It's really awful. But anyway,
yeah. Well, we spent quite a bit of time just talking about Obsession and Backrooms, talking about the indie filmmaking and stuff. And you know what? I love hearing about all of this stuff. I really do.
I
about
do
your
recommend
experiences and
I do recommend Obsession. Everyone in the chat, I recommend it. It is worth your time.
I think so too. I think that it was a movie that, even if you're not the biggest horror person, it was a pretty interesting movie to watch. It was a throwback to a time when, not every movie, it did feel quote unquote independent, or whatever you want to call it, because I didn't feel like it was woke. I didn't feel like, it didn't seem like a movie that some studio was breathing down somebody's neck for all these kind of check marks or requirements. It just seemed like a guy that wanted to make the movie that he wanted to make, and he made it. And something about that authenticity is actually refreshing. I'm not going to lie and say it's the best movie I've ever seen.
Let me just say, let me just say one thing also, right? You know, these rules that they put out, they were saying like when you write a script, something has to happen in 2 pages, whatever. You go and see Obsession, right? Nothing happens until 15 minutes in, but all of it's interesting from the beginning. You know, in the beginning sequence, right? I'm not giving anything away.
Right,
Where he's
right.
in when he's talking and stuff like that, right? It's interesting. Nothing really happens, but it's still interesting. And it just goes to show, right? The rules can be broken if you know what you're doing. And that guy knew what he was doing, the director and the writer. So there you go. There you go. Ista, how
That's
are you?
good. Hey, Ian. Yeah, I super chatted that because everybody made a big deal about Hurt Locker being an indie film. And I'm like, what the fuck? Catherine Bigelow, Guy Pearce, Jeremy Renner? That's not indie. That's as Hollywood as you can get.
Yeah.
But
the way
but big money, they took over organic food. They took over family farm. You know, anything, you're right. Anything that's popular, it's going to be absorbed into the huge corporate megastructures. So indie films, it's one of their more recent casualties.
Yep.
Even independent ISPs are no longer independent. You think you have like a small little ISP, but it's not. It's a subsidiary of Comcast or AT&T.
I see Sean in the chat, which means that I'm sending him a link.
Hey, Sean.
I haven't seen Sean in a very long time.
Yeah.
Now, I know he works long hours and he works very hard. So I want you all to know that. But I'm really hoping, I'm just sending him a link now. Sean, if you're still here and you didn't run away, come and join us.
Gonna have a full house tonight.
Sean is an excellent artist. Do we have a link to his comic page or
we do? We do. He has his own comic, Smacked in the Head, and let me see for a second if I can find it. I'll find it right now.
Oh.
So yeah, if you look, if I send you this link now, if I share it with everybody, and then you go to this place called Crumbs Comics, the top things you see there, which is comics that are called Smacked in the Head. There's number 3.
Oh man,
you want to talk about independent? Sean really does his own things.
Yeah. Hey, Price, you want me to send you a better picture of Ian that you can use for his avatar?
There you go.
No, this is good. I have a good one.
Okay. Well, you know how we roll on Mr. Brown, man. I just had some different ideas about him there. So
I look good there.
yeah, you really do.
Oh, it's hilarious.
The metal bikini look.
I feel like Sean ran away already. That's it. We lost Sean.
Yeah.
Turn up.
But go check out Sean's comics. He will often draw during the stream, and he's amazing.
What happened to that guy? Who's that guy that did that black comic? And he was always on Nerdrotic.
Are you talking about Eric July?
Yeah. What happened to him?
Oh,
is he still going?
They're huge, man. They just got picked up by a national distributor. They actually broke into the real official big time publishing now. He's worth millions there. But if you go on YouTube, you will see people declare the death of his company every day. I don't know why, but they want that guy to fail. It's so irritating because I never really found him offensive.
He's not woke. That's why they want him to fail. He's betrayed his skin color, according to a lot of people.
Oh, yes, he has internalized his racism. Yes.
I actually met him once. I met him at the meetup when Nerdrotic had his second meetup. I met him. Nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Big as well.
He seems nice.
Yeah, very nice guy. But yeah, no, I just was wondering because I don't get any feeds on YouTube. I used to get a lot from him, but nothing. I just thought.
I think he doesn't do as many videos. Like he used to do all these videos, and I think he does a lot. Yay!
Right.
Yeah, he's busy. He's running a real publisher now. He's got no time.
Hello, Sean.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Sean.
I was telling people that you've been absent for so long that now when I curse, I don't even apologize to you. But now you're back, so I feel like you've restarted the counter on that.
Reset the clock.
By the way, also, you told me something. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I think it's fair enough. You told me that the second that The Mandalorian came out, and there was a lot of people going to movies. You basically got told from the higher ups that there's kind of a shift of pushing more Obsession than there is Mandalorian, correct?
Just in general with theaters, if a movie is performing better, they will cancel shows or move shows around. It's not like the old days where it's like they had a set schedule and a set amount of hours that they operated. So yeah, Obsession it was like, it's exhausting. It's like Michael for like 3 or 4 weeks was just packed, and then Obsession has been packed, and now the Backrooms and Obsession have been packed. It's pretty crazy.
So what's now that you saw that there was Obsession and Backrooms and Mandalorian and Grogu, what was like, dominating like this past weekend?
I would say Backrooms, but Obsession has been really consistent.
If you had to guess, if you were a gambling man, and then I'll leave you alone. I don't want to talk shop, but I just will tell people that Sean actually knows firsthand this stuff. That's why I'm asking him this. If you were a gambling man, and now you had Obsession and you had Backrooms, which do you think will have better legs? Which do you think is going to be more stable and continue to do its thing? And which do you think will fizzle out a bit, or you think they're just going to go neck to neck now?
It's hard to say because Backrooms has such a YouTube following. Like with the guy did like 3 hours of Backrooms episodes before he ever did this movie.
Yeah.
So it's hard to. I don't even know who the other guy is, but I keep hearing people saying that Obsession is the better movie, which I still haven't gotten to see yet. But I did see Backrooms. And I'm inclined to believe him because I wasn't really impressed with Backrooms.
Did you watch Michael?
I didn't get a chance to, but it's still there.
Good movie.
It's still doing pretty decent.
Yeah. Mandalorian got kicked out of IMAX in 5 days. They started dumping it. That's like a record.
Well, all the
He-Man might break that.
All the merchandise got discounted like the second week, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, and everyone's been trying to say, "Oh, the merch."
Oh, yeah.
We were
It's
gonna. I was gonna.
billions.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about some of the absolute disaster that was the second weekend for Mandalorian and Grogu. So maybe we can get into that for a little bit.
It was impressive how bad it.
Did you watch the movie? Did you watch
shocking.
Mandalorian and Grogu?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that? Because you were an OG original trilogy fan. What did you think of Mandalorian and Grogu?
It has parts that remind me of old comic books that I like, but overall, it's a do-nothing story, and at the end of it, I was like, okay, now what? Because nobody changed, nobody learned anything.
Yep.
He could have died, and it probably would have made the movie more interesting. If Grogu,
They both could have died, and it probably would have been even more
Either
interesting.
one, yeah.
Or both.
My favorite part was Grogu getting eaten for like 5 seconds.
Didn't they have an alternate cut where Mando was sitting out in the desert next to a trash can and it just started panning around him?
In a bikini.
Yeah.
By the way, the Sheep Detective, how's that one doing?
It's so dumb. So to push Mandalorian, the theater I'm familiar with, they did a ton of Mandalorian shows. Nobody showed up, but they had to push Sheep Detective out in order to do it. So I get people coming in asking for it, and we don't have it. So
Interesting.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
It's lost a lot of screens, actually.
Mhm.
I was noticing, it's down to only a couple thousand screens.
Yeah, they
where
didn't
you
market-
still got 4,300 screens for Mandalorian and Grogu, and it absolutely cratered in the second weekend. I mean, not just bad numbers, disastrous.
Yeah, it's only
numbers.
making like $70 a day per screen average. It's ridiculous. And they blew the marketing on Sheep Detectives because it's a good movie and
That's what
it's
I keep
great
hearing.
for families, and they just absolutely blew it.
Absolutely. I think the Cheap Detective is I saw that movie. It was one of the better movies that I've seen this year, but not a lot of people went to see it, which is unfortunate because there was really something decent there. But
I wanted to
I
see
don't
that
think it
one,
had
but
time.
could not get my wife to the theater to see it with me, so we agreed we'd pick it up when it was available for
just so
for
you know that if
streaming
your
or
wife went to see it
premium
with you, she
purchase.
probably would have enjoyed it. I think
Oh
that
no,
it's a
I think
very
I showed her
wholesome
the I showed her the trailer for it. We watched. She's like, that does look like fun, but it's just like a matter of like we just didn't have the time to like put a couple of hours away to go to the theater. And she wasn't sure the kids would be interested in it, so we wouldn't be able to take them. And yeah, it was just one of those like, I don't think we can make it work. But yeah, it's definitely one that's on the list to catch once it hits.
It's going to do great on Amazon, though. It's going to really
do great there.
Yeah.
Since Sean is here, I want to bombard him with more questions. Did you watch Spider Noir, Sean?
No, I didn't even know it came out.
Oh man,
it's on Amazon.
Considering your profession and that you're so involved with movies, you don't watch movies.
I don't have time.
You don't watch the movies.
You
don't watch the shows. It's very strange, Sean.
It is. Well, especially shows. I have to hear that something is really good and is completely finished before I'll watch a TV show.
Same thing with me.
I will say this, though, and I was telling people before you came on, because we were talking about independent, and maybe it's not movies, but Sean, he has his own independent comic, and it is, Ian, it is independent. He is not, he did not crowdfund, he does not do anything. He has his own thing that he does, and you could buy it, and he's actually, in my opinion, too relaxed about selling it, but he believes in what he does, and he's doing it because that's what he believes. So much so that he doesn't even seem to like put any kind of effort beyond that. He just makes it, and it's like, I made it, I'll see you later. But it is available for sale, and I put the link here so people could see it. And I really think you should check it out, because for me, first of all, I have nothing against Eric July. I like, his hustle or whatever he did. It's all great. But I really have a lot of respect for Sean, who did not get any money from anybody, didn't collect money from people and do all this stuff. He just, goes and does his own thing. It's a truly independent comic. And if you guys are interested in seeing what that means, it's called Smacked in the Head. And if you go and look at the product, you'll see Smacked in the Head 1, 2, and 3, all of which you could buy. And those are Sean's comics that he made independently. Really, really independent.
We're really trying to get issue 4 out.
You know what? You'll do things at your own pace. The fact that you have 3 and you've done it like the way you've done it, have a lot of respect for me for it. I feel like nobody else is doing it the way that you're doing it. The only thing, like I said, you're kind of modest and you just do your own thing and you don't tell anybody about it. That's the only thing that kind of is I feel bad about, that like only I know about it. But if more people knew about it, they'd appreciate what it is that you're doing. And that's why I'm trying to tell people, because you may be very talented on the artistic side, but I guess not that I'm good at marketing, but as a marketing man, I guess you're even less than me.
I'm in this world of AI and internet. I feel like I'm falling behind in coming up with creative ways to actually get the word out. It is in 2 other comic shops here in North Carolina, and it's also available at Crumb's World in Winter Garden, Florida. But yeah, between time and trying to survive and knowing what to do to be creative enough to get it in front of people, I struggle.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you need a grassroots thing, and even though we ourselves are very kind of low key, we're not like I'm not claiming that we're like the Critical Drinker channel, but there's some people that enjoy watching this stream, and if they didn't know about your comic, maybe they know about it now, and at least a few people will check it out and tell other people if they enjoyed it. So that's all I can ask people to do, and I hope that they will. And I see a lot of people. Darren M said, "Hey, cool, bookmarked. I'm looking into it after the stream." And then,
I appreciate it.
We have, so a few people will hopefully go and watch it.
If you want, I could share a page or 2 that I've done recently.
Oh, yes, please.
Go for it.
Yeah, do that.
I'll put it in the chat for Twitter price.
Is this so you draw your own comics, right? Is this hand drawn, or is it Photoshop, or what's your process?
Let's see if I have it. I ink in Photoshop, but since I kind of have to work on it in like spare time and spare moments, I end up doing what I call guerrilla drawing. So I'll just
Oh.
randomly draw stuff on pieces of paper
Oh, okay.
and then kind of composite it all in Photoshop when I ink it.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I used to work for 2000 AD as a backup artist
Oh, nice.
a long time ago. I didn't get paid for it though, because I like Ron Smith. I met Ron Smith, and so I was a backup artist. If you see some of the prologues,
Mhm.
I had to finish it off. So like if an artist had done it and he didn't have time to finish it off, I had to ink it and stuff like that. Use a lot of what do you call it, whiteout, as you Americans call them, whiteout, to get rid of some of the marks and stuff, and use Pritt stick to stick the bubbles on and stuff like that. That was the old days.
Yeah.
And then they printed it.
Yeah.
But now you've got Photoshop and you can do the color and all that stuff. It's far more easier.
Yeah, we call that zip tone here for the halftone bubble
yeah,
screens.
Yeah. I remember those days. They were crazy.
There's
Very
so many
creative though.
possibilities.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say is another thing that I wanted to say is that I actually, when we were here and we did a stream the other day, I had only watched 2 episodes of Spider Noir, but I ended up watching the whole thing because I wanted to give my final thoughts on it. And I will say this: I've heard people that have absolutely hated it, and I've heard people that for some reason loved it, and I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. I can't say that I loved it. I didn't hate everything about it, but
Yeah.
if nothing else, I think that the thing that I really walked away from is that it's a real missed opportunity, because there's a much better show or even a 2-hour movie that was hidden here that we didn't get versus something else that we got that's just not as good. And
yeah.
Did you
know,
watch it in black and white or in color?
I watched it in color. I don't care about the black and white. I think that the
Yeah.
color is fine. I actually, even after 2 episodes, I thought this, and then Estefo said something similar. It has a feeling of like Dick Tracy to it. You could argue a little bit of Sin City, but when I watched it, I really thought of Dick Tracy in a good way. In a good
me
way.
too.
I mean, I like the color because and the way it was set up, it kind of reminded me visually of like a Dick Tracy, like you said, a bit of a hint of maybe Sin City. I liked what was going on there in terms of its visuals. I'll also say this: Nicolas Cage is the right actor for the role. If we had a time machine and we went back in time 20 years. He's 62 now, and unfortunately, he is acting and seems like a 62-year-old person.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with being 62. I'm just saying that his role, I think, would have been better if he would have played it 20 years ago, maybe still 10 years ago. Maybe still 10 years ago, if you would have given it to him like at age 50 or 52 or whatever it is, you could still sort of get away with it. He just feels like he's a bit over that thing where you're starting to feel like he's trying to do his classic Nicolas Cage shtick, for lack of a better thing, but he doesn't quite have that energy. He kind of has it.
His voice sounds different. So, Price, I have a huge question. Did you catch what I was talking about when I said the Obi-Wan trench coat thing?
The Obi-Wan trench coat thing.
There's a moment in the show that's, and I agree, there's a good 2-hour movie in this, a really missed opportunity. There's a scene near the end where it's kind of ridiculous, like the Obi-Wan hiding Leia under his
Do you mean that
trench coat.
somebody else pretends to be the hero?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
Yeah, it was a little silly. Yeah,
wasn't-
of anything in the film or in the show, that didn't bother me as much as it might have for some things. Partially because the size of Spider Noir changes pretty regularly throughout the series. Because if it's Cage in the costume for a few moments versus one of the stuntmen, it's pretty obvious. Just in the way that they move and everything, but the size of them as well. But I think
for me,
ahead.
the reason why it didn't work was because 2 reasons. One was because of the woke factor, and a lot of people argue with me with this fact. It is woke. I mean, you would never have a fat woman. Sorry, am I allowed to use that word, fat?
Yeah.
a
Plus
weighty
size,
person,
plus size.
plus size person to
Body
be the
positive.
secretary. Exactly,
Body
to be the
positive.
No,
secretary.
okay.
You won't have that. You won't
You
have
won't
that
have
at
that,
all.
but I want to highlight something. We're talking about the Great Depression, okay? We're talking
Exactly.
about a time where
Yeah,
women and
1930s.
people are thin. This woman is a Latina plus-size woman who would never be a secretary during the Great Depression. Now, I'm not like I was talking about it with Istophobos. The only way that they could have gotten away with this kind of creative choice is if they would have brought like a super hot Latina actress. Like if they bring Isa Gonzalez and
Or
she's
Ana
playing
de
a
Armas.
secretary, you may roll
Yeah.
your eyes and say, well, it's not so period accurate. But then another voice in your head would say, well, fuck it, she's hot. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah,
And then you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, but you know what? Let's just suspend disbelief. There's a hot woman here, but they didn't. It's almost like they wanted to have their cake and eat it too, quite literally.
Yeah. Well, the frustrating thing is they had the opportunity for diverse casting. They just didn't put them where they would belong because I guess they wanted to avoid. But you know, man, that's the era of Billie Holiday. They could have gotten a beautiful,
Absolutely.
diverse woman doing torch songs, and also her singing just was not that good. But
But it's
Also,
this
right,
is a noir in New York in the 1930s. You're not gonna have his girl Friday, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna have the girl there with the thick New York accent, as the secretary, like you have in all of the other noirs. Like I said on Brown, I did not hate this. There were things in it that I thought were fun. I liked Nick Cage's. He's 20 years too old for the role,
Yes.
but he is having fun up there. On screen, he's trying his best with the character, and I think does fine with the character. Just believability, right? The verisimilitude of it, right? He just doesn't really fit just because of his age. And
Yeah,
and
also, sorry.
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No,
Okay. Go.
Also, if you look at, I watched it in black and white, right? And Nick Cage said it was shot in black and white and it was colorized.
I don't
That's
believe
what he
it.
said.
I
That's
don't
what he
believe
said.
it.
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
cares whether it's true or not? But if you watch the old films like To Have and To Have Not, there's a style that those
Exactly.
directors directed in those
Yes.
days. And what I say is the directors didn't do their homework. If you watch this Raiders of the Lost Ark, Spielberg definitely did his homework when it came to those movies that were imitating for Raiders of the Lost Ark, Shadows on the Wall, the
Yes.
the fights and stuff like that. But if you watch Spider Noir, none of them did their homework. If you see the ways, like To Have and To Have Not is one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion, right? There's that scene in it where Humphrey Bogart comes into the room with another guy and the camera moves with them and it stops that they're on the side and you can see the doorway open because they didn't shut the door, only for the woman to come and lean up against the wall and ask them if they've got a match. She had a cigarette in her hand.
Yes.
That's the way they used to direct in those days.
Exactly.
And they didn't even imitate that, which is
Ian.
bad.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Was I kind of said this on Brown the other day. Like, this is supposed to be a neo noir, right? And it doesn't do that well. It's supposed to be a detective story, and it doesn't really do that well. They were supposed to have this black and white stuff. It doesn't really do that well, right? It's supposed to be a superhero thing, and it doesn't do that very well,
Nope.
right? It's just all of these things, like it's almost half measures, like it's just not there in any of these different places, right?
It half-assed everything. Ian, were you the one that brought up in The Big Sleep? When he goes into the bookstore across the street and that woman, that's noir. It didn't have any of that.
You're supposed to be. They always, in those films, if you watch any of them, and it's a masterclass in directing and using lights and everything when you watch those films, because that's how you get that the atmosphere. That's how you get the emotion in the scenes, is the way that they're playing with the light and the way that they're working, whether the light is on the eyes or the eyes are in shadow, whether there's how how they use the light dynamically to cast shadows in different places of the scene, or light certain walls or not light certain people. Like all of that is part of the element of the noir, and the way that they would use that black and white film in making those movies. And it's just
Such a fan.
Yeah.
It's not there. It's not
I'm
there
a
in
huge
this.
fan. Huge fan of stuff like that.
It's amazing.
Casablanca. There's a scene in it where what's his name? Humphrey Bogart and the police guy comes into the room, and Humphrey Bogart goes to the vault to get some money out. Sorry, the vault to get some money. You don't even see it. What you do is he goes past the wall, and you see his shadow on the wall as he opens the thing. And you don't even see the vault or anything like that. You just see that shadow on the wall. And that's the way they used to do it in those days.
Yeah,
but they didn't even imitate that.
Yeah, you see the other shadow, and you can do noir in color. You've got the Elliot Gould, The Big Sleep in the early 70s. You've got Body Heat, The Last Seduction. You can do noir in color even, because it's all about style. You know who did their homework? Ridley Scott, Blade Runner. He did his homework.
I want to stop here because Sean sent us some stuff that he's working on now.
Wow, that's great.
Sean, do you want to give us a bit of an explanation? Because you gave me some pages, but I don't have much context.
They're just 4 random pages from what I've been doing the last couple months. This actually is what I was working on probably one of the last times I was on your show, and I was drawing the furry beast chicken.
Yeah.
Can I just say something, right? This page is well composed.
Thanks.
You don't get things like this in comics anymore. Look at the sun. Is that as a sun at the on the right hand side of the page, which complements the way you've actually put the panels and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. What can I say?
You just get the 6 boring panels now. Nobody knows how to tell a story visually anymore.
Oh yeah.
This is really good, Sean.
You get this square, and you get a square over here, and then there's a rectangle, and then there's 2 more squares.
That's great as well. Look at that. Look at that page. Look at that page. That's really well composed.
To be honest, a lot of times the designs in the background are just trying to make the page look more interesting because
there you go.
I don't know what else to put in there.
But they work because
you got a good sense of design.
Yeah, you've got a good sense of design. I know some great artists, but they're terrible designers. It's a different skill, and you have them both.
Thanks.
So this is like a sneak peek. Nobody's seen this before, right?
Mm-mm. And this is what I'm doing now currently. They're trying to sneak into this alien compound.
So,
cool, Sean.
Did you used to read a lot of Mobius when you were growing up?
No, but I love his artwork.
Yeah. I was going to say I see the influence of Giraud in there, and dude, this is really good.
I don't know how that guy had as much time to put so many little details into everything.
And it's clearly really drawn, not AI. This is great, Sean. Thanks for sharing.
It is good. Yeah, it is.
I feel like I struggle to stay on model sometimes, but at this point, I'm like, I kind of like it. I kind of like when the character's slightly different in the next frame.
You can see the influence of Mobius, but you have your own distinctive style that really works for you. That's the sign of a really great artist. That you.
The problem with having the talent is that you can't switch it off. You know, when you start a comic or when I start writing, I cannot stop. You know, you stop for a day and then you have to get back to it the next day. Do you know what I mean? It's like a compulsion. It just doesn't leave you. It's so annoying.
It's so annoying. My wife is
annoying.
like, I'll have a day off, and my wife's like, I want to go places, but I know you really want to work on stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I really do.
Well, good wife.
It looks good to us, Sean, and I hope you finish this 4th comic, and I hope more people learn about it.
Yeah, well, this one is for issue 7. We just haven't put out 4 through 6 yet.
Oh, have you already made 4 through 6?
Yeah, I have up to 6 comics finished.
Wow.
This is 7 that I'm working on.
So out of 6 that you have finished, you've only released 3, and now you're working on the 7th one, and you're hoping to release 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you pull it off because, like I said, I think you deserve it.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know you, and I don't know whether you deserve it, but I do like your art. So.
I appreciate
No,
it.
Sean's a good guy. Sean's a good guy. Just so you know that he used to be a pretty fairly regular co-host here on the Night Owl. It's just that because of his job that he works, very late hours. Most of the time these days he just can't join us. But whenever he can, it's a real treat. And now it was like really, it was a surprise, came out of nowhere. So.
Well, you were talking. I figured you'd be talking about Backrooms, and I actually have tomorrow off, so I was able to jump in late.
Which is great because we were talking about it. Speaking of Backrooms, we also have this whole situation with Supergirl.
Oh no!
Sean, since you're here with us, are you excited about Supergirl, about James Gunn Supergirl? And from what you can tell, and you kind of just in the everyday of what you see, does there seem to be building excitement from what you can tell for this movie?
I have not heard anyone mention it, and we tend to forget that it's coming.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm looking forward to seeing Lobo. We might have been better off just making a Lobo movie.
It's not going to be Lobo, though, is it? It's going to be a dumbed down version of Lobo, isn't it? So.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Lobo kicked in the balls because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
My $20 bet is still out there if anyone wants to take me up on him not getting kicked in the balls. But.
I'm not going to take that bet, man. Sorry.
Yep. Nobody took me up on the Gina Carano bet, and I was right on that one.
You knew she was going to lose.
Oh, I said people kept saying Gina Carano was going to be in Mango and Greg, and I said no.
Oh.
She's not going to be in that movie. She's not ever coming back to Star Wars. She's not coming back.
They could have done anything with that type of thing, like a cameo, and it would have been better than not having anything.
When I was saying, and this I said it before to people on this panel, is that one of the problems with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is that as opposed to the show, you didn't have like Carl Weathers and Gina Carano hanging around with him. And I feel like both of them brought some kind of additional character to the screen, which helps because he's behind a mask and Pedro is a snooze to begin with. So between him and Grogu, who's a puppet, you really needed those human people with human emotions. And I think that Carl Weathers and Gina Carano really added that. And with Carl Weathers passing away and with Gina Carano being where she's at, not having in the movie wasn't to the benefit of the movie, in my opinion.
It really was kind of weird that they weren't around because I've been rewatching the first 2 seasons, and yeah, you're right. They had humanity to it.
Mm-hmm.
Weathers, I think, was an underrated, character actor.
He was great. Carl Weathers was always wonderful. It didn't matter what he was in. Yeah, he brought great character and charm, to every role that he had. Yeah,
like when you write a script, something.
Oh, what happened there?
What'd you say?
Don't say anything. What was that?
It looked like Ista had some audio playing on his end.
Ista was listening to himself.
No, I was listening to Ian. No,
where am I?
Echo problem resolved. Thank you.
Why am I not in this scene?
Supergirl, man. Whoa.
Supergirl. It's a shame about Carl Weathers because he was primed to be a really big star. There were loads of films that he was in, but the films didn't make it. Like Action Jackson was the film that was meant to, make him as an action hero, and it was a success, but it didn't do anything for him. It's really weird that he didn't make it really big.
Yeah, that film just didn't catch on.
No, it didn't.
No, it's a fun film.
It is.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember having a good time with it. It was, some 80s action fare. And, but no, it just didn't catch on.
That has been on my to-watch list since like 8 years old. Still have never seen it.
It's fun.
Well, if you get around to it, you'll have some fun with it.
The same thing with Dennis Quaid as well. Dennis Quaid, he was primed to be really big, and suddenly nothing happened.
He was always kind of like a discount Harrison Ford.
I guess, yeah. Oh, look, there's Millie Alcock. Is it Millie Alcock?
It's Millie Alcock. And yes, just by the way, Dennis Quaid was in the movie Frequency, which I kind of like.
I like that film.
Yeah. And once I was at a special event where they screened the movie Frequency and took, like, Dennis Quaid was sitting there and he took questions from people. And the thing is that there was some lady bothering him, and I actually helped him out. I think I did Dennis Quaid a solid because he had mentioned something that, like, he had, been involved in some charity, or there was some charity that he donated to. I don't even know. And some lady was like saying, well, what do you do? Like, do you actually go out and meet the people? Did you not do enough for the charity? She kept asking these weird questions about his charity, and you could tell that, like, I don't think he meant to sit there for hours and rather than answering questions about Frequency, talk about some charity thing, which was just some, comment that he just, said something minimal. And I just kind of intercepted the conversation and quickly asked something else and kind of got rid of her, if you know what I mean. I managed to, like, they desperately needed another guy to quickly come up with a question, and I feel like I immediately stepped in and, like, diverted the whole crisis away so he could, like, talk about, what I think I asked him? No, actually, I don't want to say what I asked him because then you'll find me. I asked him a different question, and it was something about his movies, and that was a better question. So
that wasn't as bad as Keith told me this story. He went to see Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
He was invited to a screening. Mostly it was women watching the film, and they had like a Q&A. And on the Q&A, they said, this is the first time Wonder Woman has been live on screen. And Keith stood up and he said, no, it isn't. He goes, don't you remember the TV show with Linda Carter? And because it was populated with women, they all looked at him like he was a piece of shit. And Keith was saying, even when he was leaving the room after the Q&A finished, all the women were giving him daggers for some reason. God, this is what we've come to now. It's crazy, right? Absolutely crazy.
Dennis Quaid's in one movie I really like called Pandorum. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Yeah. Horror's not my thing, but that movie was quite interesting and well worth watching.
For sci-fi. Whatever it's worth, I'd be happy to be on FNT, but I suspect that I probably won't be on there anytime soon. But if I ever get that call, I would be very happy, of course.
You could take Chrissy's place.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, never mind.
I can't be on NFT because I wouldn't know what they're talking about. They're much higher than me. Seriously, I watched that show and I'm like, what? Who are they talking about? What are they talking about? Do you know what I mean?
Just it's real easy. Just every 30 seconds, laugh and call someone gay.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
It's a fun show. It's a fun show. I have nothing against it, and I'd be happy to be on it. And they can call me names and do whatever. Ryan can call me names or whatever they like. Az is now not there, even though he was there this past episode. Never mind. In any case, I would be happy to hang out with those people. They all seem very nice to me, so I don't have an issue.
Bryce is a sellout.
I am 100%. No, but you know what? It's not that I'm just a sellout, like, which maybe I am, but I'm saying that, like, I actually for years have been familiar with the show, and I don't have time to watch it every time, but throughout the years, like, sometimes if there's like a good guest and things like that, I have watched some of those streams, and they seem like a decent group of guys that have fun. Some people I actually know personally, even outside of the FNT thing. And there's some nice people there, so I don't have anything bad to say about them. And you can't take away the fact that this show every week performs well, has its audience. It has, like, even in the replays, has hundreds of thousands of people that legitimately watch it afterwards. And to build that kind of success is not nothing. It's worth something. So however you may feel about it one way or another, you can't take away the success, in my opinion.
I just don't understand 9 times out of 10 what they're talking about because they know more than me, if you know what I mean. Because I'll be useless on there. Then again, I'll just laugh and Take your advice if I ever got on there.
I know people who have worked and have hosted and have been around where they have meetups, and the response is always the same. Everybody was great, polite, friendly. Nobody ever has any trouble. They say Gary's a great guy. His wife is even more awesome. Yeah. I never suspected that. Well, Gary and I have something in common.
I want to say this, not that this has happened to me every second, but I have interacted with Gary on occasion over the years, and even his wife, and they are very nice. Any interaction that I have had with them is always positive. So other people disapprove. Really great interactions with him. I think he's a really, really nice guy, Disprue. That's my personal opinion. Other
Grace has been in the crowd.
Yeah, I've talked to him on Twitter. He'll actually answer you back. He's very cool.
He's a decent guy. He's a decent guy in my opinion. Same with I've had conversations with Odin. Kind of to a lesser extent, but kind of acquainted with the comics division or something. Maybe haven't talked to him recently, but always seems like a nice guy, and we have a lot of mutual friends. Jeremy, I have communicated with over the years, and I know he's a very kind of loud personality online, but he actually is a decent guy in my opinion. Also, more than you'd think he is. You know what I mean? Because he has this kind of very in-your-face attitude when you see him online, on streams and stuff. But I actually think that there's other sides to him that I've seen, and again, I'm not we talk all day, but I'm saying he seems rather professional and to me a rather decent guy. So.
Yeah, well, they're stuck in Japan right now getting hammered by a typhoon. So
I think that they already got back to California or something. I think they're back.
According to my friend, they're still there.
You know what, right? I've met all of them.
It's in Japan.
It was in Texas. It was like the second meetup in Texas. And I met all of them. And I remember, I never forget Gary's face when the whole room was packed and he didn't know I was there. Because I've been on his streams a couple of times, and I walked past and I said, "All right, Gary." And he just stared at me and he was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" I'm like, "I've come to see you, you idiot." Do you know what I mean? So he couldn't believe I took the flight from England to fly all the way to Texas to that meetup. He just you should have seen his eyes. It was going to fall out of his out of the sockets. He was so amazed that I was there. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy. But yeah, God bless him. They do good work, those guys.
I have a quick Supergirl story. It's like 10 seconds.
And Room says Jeremy was on a stream with Price and he was very considerate to him. Maybe it was on Open Bar. That is actually true. I was on Open Bar. That was a great privilege. I was there. And on that same stream, Jeremy was there, and I believe Disprue was there. Also, Nia was a friend of mine from Film Comics Explained. And Jeremy, there was one part that he was like, he wanted me to comment on something, and he kind of, he's a very big personality, but he kind of stopped for a second and he's like, "Price, what do you think about it?" And it was very nice. It was a nice gesture. I don't have anything bad to say about the guy. So that's just my thing.
I remember them sort of leaving space because you were kind of quiet in the beginning, and they go, "Price, what
you quiet? Yeah. What?"
I don't believe it. The thing is that it's not a matter I don't know if to say quiet, but the thing is that first of all, it's Drinker's show, so he has stuff to say, and you want him to talk. I mean, as much as I like myself, I feel like people are tuning into Open Bar first and foremost to hear him talk. And I think that Jeremy, as when you're on a panel with him, he has a very big personality, so he can get into these kind of long segments that he talks, almost sort of really having a dominant presence. And I think that between Drinker talking and him talking, there was a moment that he felt that, he kind of stopped and he's like, "Price, what do you think that?" And it was very nice of him. You know what I'm saying? He was sort of aware of the whole situation and kind of encouraged me to weigh in on my thoughts. And I had some good conversations then with them. And it was a very pleasant experience for me. So those are my thoughts. And Ryan Kinnell also, he seems like kind of a in-your-face type of guy. We've been following each other for years. Always, any interaction I've had with him has been positive. I have nothing against the guy. I know that his personality is very kind of loud, but again, it doesn't surprise me that if I ever met these people in person, I suspect that they're pretty decent guys. These guys. That's my personal opinion.
Now put them on the show.
No, I don't. It's not going to change anything. I don't think I'm gonna be on any show. I'm saying this just honestly. I'm not. Nobody's paying me to say everything that I just said. I honestly feel that way. If I didn't have anything good to say, I wouldn't say it at all. There are people that I haven't mentioned that maybe you may see them or whatever it is. And if I didn't mention them, maybe I don't have anything good to say about it.
Gary's a better host than Piers Morgan. I'll tell you that.
Piers Morgan, the way I see it is that he's kind of an opportunist. If tomorrow morning,
absolutely,
if tomorrow morning he thought that getting clicks was to be talking about blue-haired people in Nicaragua, his whole week would be filled with blue-haired people from Nicaragua. And then if somebody told him that if he talks about dildos, pink dildos, and that'll get him 1 million views every 5 minutes, he'd do a marathon of pink dildos and talk about it all day. It's fine. I mean everybody at the end wants to make a living. Even these kind of old school mainstream media people that then went from the mainstream into more the YouTube sphere or more the quote unquote independent sphere, content creators now, they all want the clicks. Even there's some people, and I don't really want to go into them, there's some people that their opinions on politics change every 5 minutes based on what they think that they'll get the clicks for,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even the stars are jumping onto YouTube trying to get clicks and views and all that nonsense.
And most of them fail pretty hard, which is really nice to see because they don't have a team of writers to write what they're going to say behind them, and it's beautiful.
And they all have a freaking podcast now.
Also don't same thing. They don't always do that well because they know. They were just sort of they were empty calories repeating the stuff that other people wrote and came up with. Without their support team, they're really nothing.
Price is still pretty quiet on Mr. Brown Alliance even after many appearances. I actually don't agree with that. I don't think I'm quiet. The thing with Mr. Brown Alliance is that, first of all, Mr. Brown has his way of running that stream. He has his slides and he likes to talk about a ton of things, but not always he wants to dwell on every single one of them. So you kind of have to let him take the lead and do his thing. There are moments that I think I weigh in there and I'm very loud. It's just that, if I don't need to say something, I wouldn't say it, but there are moments that I do say stuff there.
Yeah, he has so many topics. You don't always have when he'll go off on some UK thing. I've never even heard of the guys. What am I supposed to say?
Mr. Brown always interrupts, yet he likes saying talking. Yeah, he always interrupts everybody.
It's part of the shtick.
It's great. Yeah, it's part of the shtick.
Hold on 1 second. Goddess of Whim says, I missed the Mead guy, the Midnight Edge After Dark live guys, Tom, Mikey, Culture Casino, CC Karaoke. Well, I was one of those guys, but it's not really happening these days. There's a lot of other stuff going on. There was something with that channel that I don't want to start getting into that, but there were some issues that Tom ran into that he's still trying to work out with that channel, and maybe he'll put it together. I think that Mikey kind of took a step back in general from internet life. Culture Casino is still doing his Culture Casino thing. CC Karaoke has had some stuff going on, that he kind of did more stuff in his personal life. I still talk to him on occasion. Hopefully CC Karaoke, maybe we'll see him. There was actually in the middle of the night, sometime in the past month or so, I think right after the premiere of Michael, I did a stream, this kind of secret late night stream with Tom, and that was a nice thing that we did. So yeah, I mean, some stuff like that happens, and maybe it'll happen again in the future. To be fair, Culture Casino wasn't for a very long time really not so much involved in the Midnight Edge After Dark. Maybe in the morning a bit, but even that not always. And certainly the After Dark thing wasn't really his thing.
Yeah.
I see Mike show up at WDW Pro and Super Chats to Rats Culture occasionally. Well, that's good. I haven't talked to Mikey in a while. I did at some point talk to him, and he told me that he just has a lot of stuff going on in his personal life, and he wasn't as didn't have as much time to spend online right now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
mean, he's got a family, he's got a full-time job, he's got all sorts of stuff going on in his life. So
yeah, and
not surprising.
Culture's all over the Pro Show. So
he's on there all the time.
Yeah, Culture is like 100%. With those guys. So
I met him as well. He's lovely. He's a lovely guy. Absolutely lovely. He gave me a Culture casino chip.
The only guys that I have mutual acquaintances, but I'm not really, them and I aren't really friends or anything. And I don't have anything against them, but we haven't had that kind of thing as WDW Pro and Valiant Renegade. I have been a few times on streams with them, but just because we have like mutual friends and we ourselves are not, it reminds me of like the comics division thing where he's been on a stream that with me and other people, but we ourselves are not really like really very good friends or anything. Not because there's anything wrong, like there's no animosity. I just don't really hang out. I don't know them like that,
So put them on the show.
What'd you say?
So put them on the show.
You want me to put
not at this
on there?
Yeah, not at this hour.
Listen, they're always welcome. If they invite me, then I'll certainly look at that invitation positively. But I'm okay. I myself have had less time recently. I'm trying to get back to doing long form videos on my channel, which I haven't done already in like 2 months. It's the longest, maybe one of the longest stretches that I haven't uploaded videos. Because I myself didn't have the time that I wanted to dedicate to the videos. So I'm okay. I don't need people to invite me every 5 minutes to streams. Obviously, from time to time I am a guest somewhere, but it's not my main thing. I enjoy doing the Night Owl. I enjoy doing TV shows revisited, which are the shows on my channel. And that's the thing that I really like. Once in a while, if I can make it to Mr. Brown Alliance, I still do that. Once in a while, if I can make it to Nerd Wars on Thursday, I do that. And once in a while, maybe Niat's Film Comics Explained movie night. Again, those are more rare appearances these days. Not that anybody gives a shit, but they're more rare,
I wish I had that much time.
How did we get here, Bryce?
I don't know.
We were talking about all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Script Doctor is a friend of mine, and he himself also has had a lot of stuff going on, outside of the YouTube sphere. And I hope to see more of him as well, because he would frequently do streams with me on Thursdays, and I hope to see him again because I like Script.
Ooh. Yes.
Well, that's.
Let's see. So Supergirl, we were talking about Supergirl. This is not looking good to the theaters. I think this is going to be a massive bomb.
Yeah.
This is going to bring in Marvel's numbers, 325 and maybe max probably 300.
I think it'll come in between Madam Web and the Marvels. So I was in the supermarket, and there were these two normie girls, kind of normie. They had like colored streaks in their hair. One of them had a nose ring, but like hip, young. And they looked at the newsstand, and there was a Supergirl in the cover, and one of them goes, "Truth, justice, and whatever." Fuck that bitch.
Oh, dear.
And I'm like, yes, America, USA.
Oh, wait. One final thing. I heard Price a few times on Robot Head's show before and Professor and Ista. Yep, we, there was a show that he did for a while. I think that he kind of took a break from that as well.
Yeah, again, things in real life.
Right, I mean...
kind of a situation, I think. So, yeah.
It happens to a lot of people. It's, you have other stuff going on, and I totally get it. And,
a lot of us are not full-time YouTubers like some of these people.
Yeah, and at my age, I could have a stroke any second. You never know what's going to happen.
And there goes Ista. He's
that's the spirit.
Supergirl, eh?
Yeah,
what a load of old bollocks.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be rough.
Arms in this picture, they look funky. Her arms look like misproportioned.
Yeah, I think part of that's the weird costume that covers every last inch of her. Just like the Marvel's costumes they had in that, where every woman was covered from head to toe.
I want to say something, but I feel like it's going to come off as insensitive.
Oh, can I probably will?
Can I say it?
It
Because I
probably
know
will.
what you're gonna.
Okay, yes. What am I going to say?
I'm gonna say. I mean, I know she's no Linda Carter, but it looks like they've really gone out of their way to make her have the to make her have the body
teenage
of a,
boy look.
yes.
And here's the thing, I'll tell you this. From what we have heard, she's not going to be in this costume for more than 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
She is going to be
Blondie shirt.
wearing t-shirt and a duster something
She's
for
just
like
gonna look
most
like
of the
some
movie.
drunk bum for like
Yeah.
most of the movie, like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
dude bro junk bum or whatever they're going for. And at the end, she'll be like, "Fine, fuck it, I'll be Supergirl." And then she'll put on this little boy outfit.
Sounds
Price,
like
you got
Smallville.
a proper money super chat, and since it's like 5 a.m. over there, I think maybe you
Okay, let me.
you got a real British sterling super chat.
Okay, one
Hooray.
second. I'm gonna find it right
What
now.
time is it, Ian?
Me over here, it's 11 minutes past 7.
Oh, so
here
people are
in the
getting
morning.
up.
Yeah, people are
gotcha.
getting up. Yeah.
So let me share this thing.
Dun, dun,
It's one of those things where we're watching ourselves.
Hello.
I wish I could super chat in pounds. It seems it's so much more elegant.
So we have. I'm always looking at Sean because Sean changes like faces and. That's a classic thing Sean does. He always likes it when we were like, "Why isn't it working, Sean? Why?"
You have to like keep sharing again, I guess. I don't know.
All right, I don't know why I didn't do it well, but in any case, here I think now it's starting to work.
There you go.
I love it. This is my favorite. This is my favorite thing that we do on this channel. So let's start off. We did the Dutch Gradient. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Then we have $10 from Darren. I think it's Darren M.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Darren M?
I think so. Yes, Darren M.
I think it's Darren M.
Yep.
Bryce, Professor, Ian, Sean, bless you all. Love these streams, my friends. Good to see you, Ian. Blessings to your mom.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
And then Bayona Red says, and this is for $5 British pounds, says, the rumor is true. She's going to wear a Supergirl suit near the end of the film.
Why did I hate? Why did I hate superheroes so much? Superheroes and heroines.
Yeah.
It's weird.
The same reason the Lantern Guys hate green, because they despise all of us and the IP. They don't like the fandom. They grab a hold of these because there's a chance for them to change it and control it.
Yeah. Either it is just like with Doctor Who. It is just like with Star Trek. It is just like with any number of other properties that have been gotten a hold of by progressives in the business. Their job, their purpose there is to either turn that intellectual property into a messaging platform that is accepted and allowed to continue spreading the message. And if it is not accepted, then they're perfectly fine if it dies. So either it is going to continue spreading the message, or it will stop being a property that is not spreading the message. Either way, they win. That is how it works.
Absolutely. I can't even. So the stories I've heard and the people I've met, and so they used to make the Marvel movies in my city, and so I got to meet a lot of those people. Some of them are huge fans, and I've heard them talk about how hard it is for somebody who really likes the thing to get a job on the thing. But there are people that just, like, you have no idea the depths to which they despise us in fandom. It's really quite frightening.
It's the Phobos sent 5 Price of Reason Live memberships, which I greatly appreciate. I want to show it,
Nice,
but
thank you.
Sean his face is kind of over it, and I'm afraid that if I move Sean, we'll miss like the wonderful thing that's happening with the screen.
I think that was an accident. I think I was trying to say, no, man.
You're going to need a refund on that.
No. I meant to do it. I was
I
trying to
fixed
make
it.
a joke.
See, now people can see it, and we didn't ruin the whole Sean duplicating
cool.
thing.
Yeah, I was just trying to make some more green names show up,
Well, that's awesome, man, and thank you for the 5 gift memberships. You didn't have to, but we always appreciate it nevertheless.
It's more fun than talking about Supergirl.
So Supergirl, what they've also been doing is they've been trying to push like Lobo, Jason Momoa's Lobos, and then now it's like a big thing. They keep doing. I've already seen this for a while that they keep really pushing it. They're hoping that maybe people don't like her, but they'll like Jason Momoa as Lobo. You know what though? It's kind of too little, too late. And I don't think that anybody's going there thinking this will be like a proper Lobo movie. I think that everybody knows that this is going to be some kind of like, preachy woman power weird thing, Guardians of the women power in space or whatever. I don't know what.
But they did add a lot more. I think they added about, 7 minutes of Superman and Lobo in there that weren't there before.
Yeah, I'm sure that they did. I'm sure that they did.
They're still working on this thing, and it comes out in what, 3 weeks?
Like 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks.
The thing is that there were articles a while back, and I said it at the time that I thought the articles were kind of bullshit. They were saying, and this is maybe in the past half year, that after the studios saw some footage with Jason Momoa as Lobo, they got so excited that they said that they wanted more of him in the movie. But I don't think that that's really how it went down. I think that it boiled down more to Jason Momoa is a guy that at least was in a few movies that made money around here. He made money in Aquaman, even the second Aquaman, which didn't do so well, still made a few dollars. The first one made over $1 billion. Minecraft movie was stupid, but he was in it and made money. And they probably said nobody knows who this Millie Alcock is. Can we see more of Jason Momoa? At least when we have marketing, we can say he's in the movie. Maybe 5 people will know who he is, and maybe his character will look cool. But at this point, once I think that they already came to this conclusion, it was late in the game. You know what I mean? Now you have to think, how do you insert more of him into a movie which already sucks and exists pretty much? So you're doing reshoots to include him. And then they said, well, this isn't really helping us either. It's maybe moving the needle a little bit, but not really. So what do we do now? So then they're like, okay, well, let's have more Superman in it. And it's now they're going for the guy that flopped to help do this movie from flopping less, which is already bizarre. You know what I mean? They're hoping that David Corenswet is going to save Supergirl. And man, I think that's pathetic.
Can I tell you my conspiracy theory?
Sure.
I think they knew this movie was going to bomb. They know it's going to bomb. Those test screenings were devastating. And they were like, man, we need somebody to take the fall, to take the blame when this fails. Hey, Millie, why don't you go out there and say some of that feminist stuff? Yeah, you have our blessing. In fact, talk about the patriarchy. Talk about ownership of women's bodies. They love that. And I think they sent her out there to be a sacrificial lamb. So when this fails, they can say, well, people just didn't like Millie because she never talked shit about House of the Dragon.
Dude Brosef, and I want to say here at Price of Reason Studios, we absolutely don't take any responsibility for anything and speculate about things. Dude Brosef is speculating that Jason Momoa is very touchy-feely with women.
But potentially.
I didn't know that. Never heard that before.
I heard they were touchy-feely about him.
Right. I thought they kind of liked him. Aquaman made it and that was Jason Momoa doing the first Aquaman. I feel like he was in shape then. He was thin, and he had a moment with the ladies. I feel like a lot of ladies went to see Aquaman not knowing what the fuck it even was. Sorry, Sean. They just saw the commercials. It looked like Jason Momoa was swimming in the ocean shirtless. Looked like he just did a workout at the gym and he was swimming around. And I feel like at least a good portion of the ladies went just to see that.
Because he was doing more than swimming in the ocean. He was swimming in pussy.
Yeah, I mean, the word was Amber Heard just threw herself at him shamelessly. It was he had to peel her off of him.
Allegedly, that was the rumor. Here at Price of Reason Studios, we don't know if such things happen.
I said it was a rumor. I said the
rumor.
Word
no,
was.
I
yes.
I heard the same rumor. It could be true. It could be not true. Who knows?
Oh wait,
Allegedly.
there's our official allegedly.
I see on X they're still this guy's still trying to promote Mando and Gugu, whatever it's called.
Yeah, he's saying it's still in these, reminding people it's still in theaters. Like it's only been 8 days.
See, they're like, see the greatest IMAX movie of all time before they take it off of IMAX screens to put Masters of the Universe there instead.
He says, I won't stop fighting for Mando and Grogu. That's what he says. So anyway. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But yeah, in Europe, there's some screens where they're taking it off to put Michael back up in IMAX because it's performed better than Star Wars. It is massively pathetic. And
it's a no-brainer.
The shills for Mando just drive me crazy. I posted it over the weekend, like the latest, like the piles of cope that have been just building up from these people talking about nonstop. No, it made back its budget. No, it hasn't. Well, it doesn't matter if it made back its budget because it's going to make money in toy sales.
Toys.
You don't know that because. You don't know it's making money in toy sales because not one retailer has talked about Mandalorian and Grogu toy sales. The only thing we know is that Star Wars toy sales are at an all-time low. And they've been struggling to actually get this stuff sold. And that, they point at reports. Well, but look, Mandalorian, you had all these Grogu toys that were the biggest sellers for Star Wars. And then they point to these reports that are from 2022. Mm-hmm. You're like, they're big sellers at Ollie's.
They started 2019 when The Mandalorian and Grogu premiered because they can't talk about the recent sales because they're so low.
No, but they're pathetic.
I'll tell you what, the only movie getting pulled out of IMAX faster than Mando is Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it's not going to be there long.
And they're pulling it from IMAX. Yeah,
it's not going to be there long. But
Sean, how are people responding to Masters of the Universe?
Most of the people I work with do not want to see it. They think it looks really stupid.
Oh.
And
so you don't feel a hype. Like usually you kind of feel when there's a hype building.
Only from like one or two of my friends that are in their mid-40s.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the early reviews have started dropping today, and they are not particularly good. Some people have had some nice things to say. Some people not so much.
Is it bait and switched?
Look, the guy looks like a girl. Come on, let's face it.
Yeah.
Well, he has starred in like a couple of gay films, has he not?
He was in that space detective thing, I guess. But like, he seemed like such a scrawny guy. Like, I wouldn't think that he would be He-Man. I think it's the same actor, I don't really know.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like he would be He-Man.
His action figure it looks more feminine than She-Ra, man. Have you seen a picture of that? I have one on my tweet. I can send you.
I saw a clip of Skeletor, and I was like, because somebody forced me to watch it, because I was like, I just hope it doesn't like make fun of itself the whole movie. And then they showed Skeletor, and he's doing the voice that's like menacing, but then he starts like laughing, and then it's like silent around him, so they're totally making him look stupid. And I was like, this, just what they're doing with this character feels tonally opposites. Like if you're gonna have him be silly Skeletor, then he needs that silly Skeletor voice. I feel like they can't define what he actually is in this.
Yep.
Yeah, Price, I DM'd you the picture of the action figure.
There's a couple of different action figures. I'm guessing you're probably talking about the Barbie.
No, that's the point. This one is not the Barbie one.
Oh, okay.
The thing is if I put in your pictures, we're gonna lose everything.
No.
Uh-oh.
Because we won't be able to do this thing that we're...
I think eventually we're going to have to show something else.
I guess.
Yeah, there's nothing having a stroke, actually.
Sean.
Price just loves the multiverse.
If you guys think what they're doing to He-Man is bad, Just wait till you get to James Bond.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all I'm saying.
Oh, that James Bond is
That's going to be devastated.
They've already shown what they're going to do to James Bond, Ian. They showed it with this new video game that they put out.
Yeah.
They're gonna have they're gonna have a super young James Bond who's not in control. He's being bossed around by women in every corner of his life. And no, it's not the same as having a woman M like they started with in GoldenEye, where yes, she gives him the business, but in the end, she actually respects him because he gets the job done. Right? She's not micromanaging him and bossing him around every minute of every day. That's not what's happening, right? So they're not going to make this a movie where he's a strong, independent James Bond. He's going to be a newbie who's going to be sensitive, and he's going to learn about this and that and whatever. From all the women around him, we're going to teach him how to be a great agent, right? That is what we're getting.
Are they actually working on a movie already?
They're working on casting it right now, and they've already got Denis Villeneuve, who's going to be the director.
So the rumor from my friend in LA, he's in LA, but he also got his fingers in loads of pies, is that there's a checkmate between Barbara Broccoli and the Amazon people. Barbara Broccoli wants Aaron, what's his name, to be James Bond. And Amazon wants this other guy to be James Bond, which is, I don't know who the other guy is. And Barbara Broccoli stormed out of the meeting saying, I'm not budging. You're idiots. You're going to make this guy James Bond. You're completely wrong. And they're at a stalemate.
Wait, who do they want and who does she want?
She wants Aaron Taylor to be James Bond.
Aaron Taylor Johnson?
And
who do they want?
And I can't remember. Some guy that was in...
Jacob Elordi?
No, he was in Wings, you know, that TV show, World War II. It was a recent film, and he's got curly hair and he's got big ears. I don't know if him.
Is he
they want
like the gay tennis player with Zendaya and that stupid tennis?
No, I don't know. I don't know if he was in that, but I've seen a picture of him and like he's not James Bond. So that's the thing. They're in a stalemate at the moment.
We're talking about Josh O'Connor.
Turner?
I don't
Josh O'Connor. There's only one guy. It's this guy. This is the guy they want. I'm going to show it to you now. And now you're going to admit that I'm right and I'm the best. Ian, are you ready?
I thought she sold it. What choice does she have?
That's the fella. Yeah,
I don't understand it. This guy looks like he wouldn't even play a good James Bond villain. Maybe like if you shaved his head, he could be like Blofeld.
he looks like a book writer or something, doesn't he?
He's not James Bond. Why would they ever want this man to be James Bond?
Yeah,
he looks nothing.
He looks.
Sorry, go ahead.
He looks like James Bond's drug dealer.
Wait, no, Mega Geek. Why do you think they want this guy? Because I've heard this too, and I don't know why.
Well, look, they want to change the face of James Bond. They want multiple spin-offs of James Bond as well. So Amazon's got this big plan for James Bond. Barbara Broccoli's always saying, look, James Bond needs to be a standalone thing, and each film needs to be its separate entity. But they don't want to hear that. They want more money. They want to spin it off. They want to wokeify it. And that's their plan. But Barbara Broccoli, now, to answer your question, Barbara Broccoli did take the money, but on the proviso that she still had a say in James Bond.
That never really works out.
Yeah, this is.
But wait a second.
Now.
This is the guy that she wants or the guy that they want?
That's the one Amazon wants.
And who does she want? Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Aaron Taylor Johnson, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on one second. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, Callum Turner might actually be a decent Bond. Like, he at least looks like a man.
Mm-hmm. So hold on. So Amazon wants him. Barbara Broccoli wants Aaron Taylor Johnson. And everyone else wants Henry Cavill.
Yep.
What can we say?
I mean, to be fair, if I had to choose between Aaron Taylor Johnson and that weird ear guy, if you forced me to choose, I guess I would take Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, so would I. Yeah.
But with that
Definitely.
being said, I actually think that both of them aren't as strong as Cavill. Henry Cavill, they've wasted 5 years jerking off over this stupid shit. They could have just cast Henry Cavill and given him, done a 3-picture deal with him. Let him make a few movies. How bad could that have been that they go back to making movies that aren't shitty, like, lectures? Put like Henry Cavill as Bond and just make some decent action movies. They could have totally done that. I think that all these people are just dumb idiot losers.
Do you know what is interesting? Some people who don't like Henry Cavill, they always say the same thing. They go, he can't act. And I always go, Roger Moore. And then they go, he's too old. Then I go, Roger Moore. Do you know what I mean? So those two criticisms don't hold up at all. They do not
Listen,
hold
at
up
the end
at
of the
all.
day, I think that Henry Cavill has the presence for it. The ladies like
course
him.
he
He's
does.
good at action.
course he does.
You could make it work with Henry Cavill. Is he as good as Sean Connery? No. I've not seen to date a Bond that I've liked more than Sean Connery. Sean Connery for me will always be like the ultimate Bond, but he's not around, and you have to put somebody there. I certainly think that Cavill could be more a better Bond than Craig. I think Craig was really
It was terrible.
not a very good Bond.
Awful.
It's sad that the franchise was already so strong that it made money, even with like a weak, subdued, bitter-looking asshole like Craig. I'm sorry that it did well with him because they learned all the wrong lessons from it. But I think that if you put like Henry Cavill and made had people that are decent make these movies, like fun, playful action movies, I think it would have been fine. Plus, like Henry Cavill, say what you want about him. When he did The Witcher, I thought he did well in that role. I think that is he the best actor that I've ever seen? I wouldn't say that. Do I think he can play James Bond? I think he can.
Well, he can.
And remember what Helen Andrews said about the feminization, like these studios are all run and filled with women, and women get a sense of achievement from just talking about something where men actually have to do something. So in the 5 years that they've been talking about Bond, they really think they've been accomplishing something. And whereas the old studio guys would be, man, we need to get the movie out and start counting our money. And that's not how these people work.
Who's Tom Ellis? Tom Ellis? No, he's more my type than Momoa. Who's Tom Ellis? I have no idea.
Tom Ellis is Lucifer. The guy who plays Lucifer.
Is he British?
American show.
Yeah.
Yes, he's British.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a he could work. He's a great actor. He's a little bit maybe pretty, but Adam Carolla always says when my wife she called the cable guy. It's like, well, did you talk to anybody? No, I got the answering machine, but I called. And he's like, well, we still don't have cable,
Daniel Craig was the worst James Bond ever.
The worst.
When the first movie, he looked okay. In the second movie, he looked a bit old. Third movie, he just looked ugly, big ears, and the last movie, he looked like an old age pensioner. He looked like Sid James. Do you know what I mean? That's how
seemed
bad
like a
he looked.
bitter guy that doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, well, he hadn't wanted to be there since the second movie. Yeah,
exactly.
He's been trying to get him to kill off Bond, since he did the first.
Are you ready to grow your career, Ista?
Yes.
At Citizens Bank? Sure.
That was a little bit. I just want to say they didn't pay me to say that.
Oh, but hey, she was cute. Bring her back. She could have played
cuter than Tom Ellis. Yeah.
Tom Ellis, he was in Doctor Who. Would make a good Doctor, in my opinion. If you see him in Lucifer, that's the kind of attitude he'd bring to the Doctor, in my opinion.
He was until the show went downhill, but the first couple of seasons of Lucifer were awesome, man. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was good.
But they really let that shit. They really ruined that shit.
Do you know women loved that? Even when Netflix brought the rights and they started making new episodes, it was a huge hit. It's just women watched it.
Well,
I don't know any men that watched it. It was just purely women.
Well, that's because they feminized the show. That's what ruined it. But they kept the women and they lost all the men.
Which show are you talking about?
Lucifer.
I don't know. I never watched that.
It's that supernatural urban fantasy romance, the stuff that appeals to women to begin with. And they even had some, milking farm. They had some, not quite human characters that were, so hot. Like,
gross. And do you know what? Price? I'm going to make you guess now. What
Okay.
color was God in Lucifer?
Pink.
Puce.
Pink.
I would
No.
say I didn't watch it. I'm just gonna guess she was black.
He was black.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
There
I
you go.
thought you meant that it was something like
Not
more
nearly.
abstract. I didn't know that it was
It's
like
like
you
turquoise.
meant the
not
ethnicity
nearly
of a person.
progressive enough.
Yeah,
I
well,
thought
it
pink
needs to be
because
she.
you understand.
this was
Great-
early on. Though,
Dutch
so.
Gradient has been a member for 1 month, and I appreciate it. Dutch Gradient is a friend of the channel. I am always happy to see members here, and I'm happy to see that you're a member.
Aliens
So,
expert.
There's that. And then, we haven't yet touched upon it. It is on our docket. What's happening with the race between, what's his face?
Oh well, it
Oh.
was just the
Spencer
primaries today, and it looks like
Pratt. Do we have any
yeah.
results? Like, can you share
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
I looked earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be a runoff between Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass. in
Yeah,
the
it
general election.
looks like it was going to be the two of them. Yeah, it looks like the two of them, and then in the jungle primary for governor, Hilton and Becerra are the two that are going to be on top there. So yeah, and both Pratt and Hilton have some really good support. So yeah.
I feel like the way California runs its elections are unconstitutional.
It's the jungle primaries are a nightmare. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's a reason for them. There's a very good reason for them.
Oh, of course.
They intend to make sure that it's one party rule in the state forever. That if you're going on, that you're going to get. We got raided over on Rumble. 2 raids back to back. We got Third Railify, which we gave a raid to the other day. They raided us today, which is really
they
kind.
ended
Thank
early.
you.
Cool, yeah. Nice,
Third
man.
Railify.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that. And just Gina also rating us. So thank you very much. Really cool.
Thank you very much.
Spam in the chat there a little bit, but that's okay. Welcome.
No, she's
Welcome.
very, very welcome. Very
Yes.
welcome to do that.
Third Railify ended early though. They're usually going on for
Yeah,
hours.
they usually go a
after
bit
that,
later.
so-
Right.
Good to see you all.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see
coming.
you all here. Thank you for joining us.
I had a really fun time watching the show the other night, by the way. So
They're a fun group of guys and girls and ladies.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off till 6 in the morning, man. It
Yeah.
was-
Yeah. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so basically Spencer Pratt has advanced.
Yeah. It's gonna be Pratt and Bass.
Well, first
What's
of all, already a win for the guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What is
Yeah.
that for? 'Cause I'm English.
For mayor of LA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's had some phenomenal ad. That last Lego movie ad of his just had me in stitches. Do you have a copy of that? Like, I think it's copyright okay because they made their own song for the commercial. You know, everything is awful.
It's okay. I know what you mean, but I don't want any issues. I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
Sometimes they don't like AI these days, so I want to try to steer away from it. But I know what you mean. He had a lot of great AI ads, including the Lego one you just mentioned, Istophobos. But what I'll say is that just for the people that are not aware of this race, even like Ian that's here from England, California is very much a left-wing Democratic state, and it's really hard for anybody to do anything there. And Spencer Pratt is a guy that, he was considered a real underdog, and he challenged, he ran for mayor there. And the way it's set up there, it's like, first of all, if there isn't a majority, you do like another election or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is he's advanced to the final election, meaning now it's going to be him versus Karen Bass. And the fact that this guy who's kind of an outsider even got as far as he did is rather impressive. What's going to happen moving forward, I don't know. There's this constant feeling that, the establishment and whatever is going on there in Los Angeles is somehow going to make it that he's not going to be the mayor there. You just feel like he's not going to do it. If it was anywhere else, I think he'd have a real chance. But here, I'm not sure.
Oh, they are actually having an initiative this year that would end the jungle primary. And also, they just had a federal lawsuit challenging the 850,000 non-existent people that are still in the California voter rolls.
Well, you know why they want to end the jungle primary?
Well, I mean, I know why we want to end it.
There was a very real chance they were going to end up with two Republicans at the top of the ticket, and there would not be a Democrat. So it's exactly the opposite of what the whole reason they put the jungle primary in there in the first place was that they would be able to block out any Republican candidate by making sure there were two Democrats at the top of every ticket.
Yeah.
And then there was a very real chance that they were going to have Democrats completely locked out of the ticket and have two Republicans at the top, and that was terrifying. Yeah, and so now they want to get rid of the jungle primary.
Yeah, but then Governor Newsom comes out and says, we will never let it happen. We have, what do they call it? We have emergency actions.
Yes,
to make sure. Like, how corrupt, how absurd, how undemocratic is that to basically him come out and say, we're going to make sure the person you want to elect never gets elected. Like, that's insane to me.
That's coming from a guy who got recalled and somehow miraculously won again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
we have another super chat that I have to address here. So 1 second. So one thing. First things first. Argentum says, "Do not risk it." Nerdrotic just got hit big time for an AI video during a live stream this evening. He had live streaming disabled for an undetermined amount of time. So. So you see stuff. There's weird things with AI, and at this point, it's just not worth it. I wouldn't have said this a month or two ago, but now, I prefer to show less and not have any issues. You know what I mean? Not that I didn't like what you were talking about, but I don't want any issues.
Yeah, they're really cracking down on that stuff on the old YouTube.
Yeah, they're cracking down. They're cracking down with it with AI. Which is weird.
Yeah, they're using AI to crack down on AI, but of course, it's grabbing up people that aren't doing AI.
And of course, we love YouTube. YouTube is a great platform, and we love everything they do, and we wouldn't dare say anything negative about them because they do great and they're wonderful. If whoever the AI from YouTube is listening, we absolutely love it. We love it.
I, for one, welcome our AI overlords.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom calls it, we have a break the glass scenario in case two Republicans win the primary. That's just so obvious. But they're blaming it on Trump, and it's like Republicans always interfere in our elections when they lose. The thing is, California has 40% Republican population, and they only have like a 7% representation in Congress. So it's already about as rigged against conservatives as you could possibly be.
So just to sum up, Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass, they're heading towards the other election in November.
Yep, in November.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens there. Still, whatever happens moving forward, I still think it's a huge win for Spencer Pratt, who a few months ago nobody thought anything of him, and at least he managed to ruffle some feathers. What's going to happen ultimately there, I don't know. In addition to that, there's something else that happened today, and I'm happy that Bayona Rad said something here. Thank God Amazon is not moving forward with Stargate. Now,
yes.
This is considered controversial because some people were very upset about this, but I was not upset, and I'll tell you why. Well, there's a few reasons, and I have to be fair. First of all, let me find my post. It had some interesting responses.
And I've got a post shared, too, as well, from one of the producers of the show, so we can share that.
Okay, let's look at yours first.
Okay, so, this was the story. It came out, Variety posted earlier today, that, yes, the Stargate TV series was not going to be moving forward at Amazon. So there were a few different reasons people were talking about why it was, why would this not be picked up, whatever. They talk about it in there. One of them was that specifically, Joseph Malazzi talks about this in a different post, but this is where he's talking about it. He says, sadly, it's true, Amazon is not elected to move forward with the new Stargate series. Not much I can add beyond confirming what's happened, but I'll say this. Creator Martin Jarrow developed a new Stargate series over 2 years, ultimately crafting a show that offered a fresh jumping on point for new viewers. Again, remember that. A fresh jumping on point for new viewers while deeply respecting existing canon. It was a series that avoided the pitfalls of modern remakes and reboots by fully embracing the core of its predecessors. Action, adventure, exploration, wonder, heart, humor, and found family based on the creative vision. The new Stargate series was greenlit in November of 2025. As of today, officially, the original vision is no more. We will never get the opportunity to introduce you to that world and those characters, or reintroduce you and check in with some familiar faces from the past. So, yeah, he says, my heart breaks. He thanks Martin for having an unwavering positive outlook, and so on. So, yeah, they canceled the show, canceled the production, and one of the things that they had said was that Stargate show was axed. The show was first announced in 2025. Sources say it's cut off. Sources say Amazon execs were concerned that Jiro's take on the series would not have had broad appeal beyond the franchise's already dedicated fan base. And Malazzi replied to this, says, nope, sorry. Gonna have to push back. We were ever mindful of creating a show that would have broad appeal. So interesting. Yeah, some interesting feedback from somebody who was actively working on the production of the show.
Anti-derivative Jill, at this point, if they're not going to do this Stargate, I hope no one makes Stargate, because Amazon just wants a corporate cookie cutter crap. Just forget it all. Now, normally, I would agree with everything that everybody's saying, and I know everybody's very sad, but I have one thing to tell you all. Martin Giro is the biggest con man hack since J.J. Abrams. I have no faith in this man. I have no faith in this man whatsoever, and I'm going to show you my post about this whole situation. Let me see if I can find it. So this is what I wrote. Let's see can you see it? I wrote, to be fair, Martin Giro is an ultra-woke hack that would have ruined Stargate just like he ruined the short-lived Quantum Leap sequel series. Martin Giro, what happened is that he was the showrunner for the Quantum Leap reboot. And out of all the stuff that I've seen, and I went back and forth with a few people, Quantum Leap 2022 was kind of like the acolyte of Quantum Leap. It was so awful and so disrespectful on every level. And once, after 2 seasons, which Martin Giro was the showrunner, ran it into the ground. Once it was done, he went around talking about all the woke talking points. He was the most annoying jerk-off in the world for those 2 seasons, for those 2 years. And finally, when it ended, he started going on live streams and saying, some mistakes were made there. People, they made me do it. They made me do this. They made me do that. It's like, dude, you personally hired a LG activist person that was like pushing all these kind of ideologies and things, a literal activist. You hired her as part of him. I don't know what the pronouns are. Martin Giro can shut the fuck up. I don't trust this man. It's kind of like, for me, people are like, oh, but 20 years ago, he wrote on Stargate. I don't give a fuck what he did 20 years ago. RTD, Russell T. Davies on Doctor Who, 20 years ago was also a semi-decent guy doing some good Doctor Who. That doesn't mean anything today. So whether or not he would have learned his lesson, and in this case done it not in agenda-driven, I don't know. Does this man have any credibility with me? Zero. I will never trust that Martin Giro guy again. Maybe one day he'll surprise me. Maybe he learned all of his lessons and all of the woke he wanted to do, he got out of his system on Quantum Leap, which he made the acolyte of Quantum Leap. Maybe in the future, now he'll start doing good stuff again. But I will never forget that, like fans that were waiting years for that show, he ran it into the ground. He's a shitty showrunner. He's a fucking hack. He didn't have one original idea. He didn't do his homework. I could have replaced Giro at any point. I would do every week videos in which I explained how Giro's an idiot and how I would replace him and do it better than him. And I stand by every single thing that I said. I'm not saying that I'm a better showrunner than everybody in everything, but for Quantum Leap, Martin Giro was a hack, and he did a J.J. Abrams. He went to the school of J.J. Abrams to do that stupid show, and nothing that he says will ever convince me. So maybe Amazon are stupid regardless with their I don't know what they wanted, or I don't know if they wanted it to be woke or whatever it is that they wanted, but regardless of anything, I have zero respect for the man, and that's why I'm kind of neutral here. If people were sad and they thought this would be good, I'm sad for you that you didn't get what you wanted, but I honestly don't know that you would have gotten what you wanted. It would have been like a Pet Cemetery situation. You know what I mean? When I saw this, I said I was like Mr. Mr. Munster, whatever his name is, Fred Gwynn, I was like, you know that meme? Sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes
Yeah.
that is
That's
better.
what I was thinking. When they're like, they acted, I'm like, maybe this is the best thing that could have happened. Because you may think that all those people that they brought back from 20 years earlier are now going to do respect for the fans, but we're not sure of that. We are absolutely not sure.
That Quantum Leap was the worst. You're absolutely right calling it the acolyte of Quantum Leap. It was the worst, most nonsensical, illogical, incoherent, woke piece of shit I've ever. I can't believe it got a second season. It makes Queen Latifah's Equalizer look like fucking Commando or Predator.
This is why I don't watch television shows.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of come to the realization that the entire business model of TV shows are no longer to entertain us. They are to hold you hostage and to keep you on the streaming service by frustrating you and making you think, oh, one more episode, I won't be so miserable. And they've basically gone from entertainment to hostage taking. And I'm with you there. After Spider Noir.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, after Spider Noir, blah, blah. After that, I realized, you know what? I'm just going to watch movies from now on and older TV shows. I started rewatching Bird Notice because you know what? New TV shows, their goal is to frustrate you and to make you just like Phantom Menace. The reason we all went to see Phantom Menace 50 times was like, we must be missing something. You know, Lucas is a genius. Like, I must not be getting it. I'll try one more time. I know this is going to be awesome. And the psychologists had a word. They called it Phantom Menace syndrome, for God's sake. And that's what all of TV is now. So unless it's like Clarkson's Farm or, you know, Reacher, like, it's all 2-hour movies stretched out over 10 hours, and I'm sick of wasting my time with that bullshit.
Quickly, I want to highlight these comments here. Anti-derivative Jill, friend of the channel, said, anyway, I wanted Brad Wright to do Stargate to begin with. He had a great idea for disclosure. Yeah, it was Jiro as showrunner. They brought him as some consultant. I don't know what he would have done. Yeah, but Price, what if killing this is going to bring a worse creation? That could happen. That's what I'm worried about, that a Kurtzman 2.0 comes and runs it into the ground even worse. For me, Jiro is Kurtzman 2.0, but that's just my personal opinion. Could it get worse? You know, I guess Hollywood has taught us that it could always get worse. I want to address this comment. Moondog Main 2x2. Price, what the fuck is woke anyway? You're beating a dead horse by now. First of all, I want to tell you, I as much as you think, oh, like he said woke now a few times, whatever, I don't actually use that word every second. But let me put it this way. When Quantum Leap hires an LG activist, a pronoun LGV activist that inserts like episodes about like LG pronoun thing, these like that feel like just somebody came and did like a lecture of an hour in your face lecturing you about such things. I don't think that there's any other way for me to describe what I saw on that show aside from woke. They had a military base where one of the guys on this base would walk around in a cocktail dress and earrings and makeup, although you weren't sure why. This just happened all the time. And you can say, well, what's wrong with that? It's fine, I guess, for some settings or some whatever. It was over the top here. It did not make sense within it, like a military professional setting, that this top secret program, whatever was going in there, was a fucking joke. I've never seen anything. I like the ones that I consider that I could call woke is like, you know, Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, whatever it is. I can say that about that. I can say it about Acolyte, and I can say it about the Quantum Leap Revisited. It was 100% there. It wasn't just a little bit. It wasn't mildly. It was 100%. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can say it's this, it's a head dead horse, it's this and that, and this and that. I don't want to say anything negative. You're watching the stream. I respect that, and I respect your opinion. Completely disagree.
Well, yeah, woke means anti-white and anti-male. The white people will be stupid or evil, and the women will always berate and lecture and chastise them.
Okay, well, listen, Mad Dog, you're entitled to your opinions, but I will point you in the direction of the last season of Doctor Who. Now, if you don't see any woke in that, then what can I say? what can I say about the way you see TV shows? It's your call at the end of the day. I use woke all the time because it describes what's happening to our TV shows, our beloved TV shows, our beloved IPs, which are being destroyed. And if you can't see that, well, I don't know what to say. That's all I can say.
Kodoram says they canceled Chloe Zhao's Buffy reboot for being woke trash. It's funny to me that after Eternals, that they even gave her the reboot for Buffy to begin with, and then she again wanted to do the lady next to the trash can once again, and I guess it didn't work.
Again, right, the word woke is perfect to describe what's going on in our TV shows. If James Bond gets released and Amazon has their way, James Bond's going to be very effeminate. Same thing with, if you look at He-Man, if you look at the guy they've cast as He-Man, does he look masculine? I don't think so. But then again, it's my opinion, of course. That's all I can say.
Anyhow, I'm here. I'm happy to see Anti-Derivative Jill also on Rumble. By the way, Jill, if we weren't already like close to wrapping up, I would have invited you to join us, but I think we should start wrapping up our stream. In any case, it's been a full house here tonight. I mean, what a great panel. We have the return of Sean, who has his own comic. Let me see. Let me try again. Did we share your link? Did we share it enough?
No, hold on.
Never enough.
Never enough. Let me do this now. If you guys go and support what Sean is doing, and he's not doing any crowdfunding or anything like that, but if you go and support what he does, maybe he can make more issues. Like right now, he released 3 on his own. He already has ready 4, 5, and 6, and he's just wants to release them. And he, again, well-kept secret, has never asked anybody for anything, but if you support him, maybe that could, help make it a reality. So I posted his thing. Please check that out. You should check Smacked in the Head. You should check out his comics. In addition to that, you have Rebecca Gold, which, again, we talk about independent stuff. We talk about Ian here. He did his own stuff. You can watch his web series. I hope that at some point he'll also let people watch the movie itself that he recently made, which I really enjoyed the movie. So I'm hoping that people will see that. I'm going to drop a link now so that you guys can see that as well. I'm doing that right now. This is Ian's. And then, of course, we have Istophobos. He's on Twitter, which I am going to get you that link right now as well.
I'm on Instagram now, too.
That sounds wonderful, Ista.
I have the same name on every platform, so you can easily find me.
That is
I'll find you. I'm on Instagram as well. I'll find you, mate.
And then we have Istophobos, which I'm sharing now with everybody. And then we have Professor R2 as well. I sometimes forget to share your thing, Professor, but I won't forget it now.
Professor.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I've shared everybody's stuff. I want to, if you've enjoyed this stream and you haven't yet subscribed, wherever you're watching, if you're watching on YouTube, haven't yet subscribed or liked or commented or whatever, you should do all that stuff. Of course, our headquarters, and I always forget now, it used to be that automatically it showed a logo, but now it doesn't automatically. So sometimes I pull it up. So the Night Owl on Rumble, this is our headquarters. Rumble is our headquarters for this show. And if you're a supporter of free speech and you like free speech, you should sign up for Rumble. You should go and you should sign up. And once you sign up, the first thing you have to do immediately is to follow us. Because that way, anytime we stream, you'll know immediately that we're streaming. And then you could join and hang out in the chat, which was, I know many people can only dream of joining us in the chat on Rumble. And this is your opportunity to do that. What was I saying? In any case, yeah, it's a good platform for free speech. Signing up is free. There's also premium, which is also cool. But even if you just sign up for free and you just want to be on Rumble, you should do that. Great platform, supports free speech, and we support that. And just wanted to put that out there as well. And then, I think that we went over all the stuff. Are there? Oh, this is the toys that you said that he looks like a woman in the toys.
Yeah. Can I put Jill's link in the chat?
Sure. I don't know what what is Joe's link. What are you talking about?
Jill, antiderivative Jill. I wanted
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
because she's definitely a friend of the channel, and
Of
a lot of us
course,
stream
put that 100%. Again, Jill is great. If I would have seen her here earlier, I would have convinced her to come join us. It's just kind of late in the game that I saw her here, but absolutely, you should follow Jill. Jill is wonderful. She is a friend of the channel, and you're gonna hopefully see her here sometime soon when she's available, because I'm always happy to see her here. So yes, obviously do that. And then yeah, you shared you said that he looks like a little lady
Yeah,
boy.
that one
What did
looks
you say?
better. That one looks better than the one I saw, but it's still like, you look at the old toy, man. He was like a huge block of muscle. This guy.
That's the Hasbro 5.5 inch. Power slash sword. I'm trying to see if other figures. Yeah, there is one that is the they have one that is a Barbie figure.
There it is.
So this one is this one is a Barbie. Okay. So that's why it looks a little pretty feminine.
Looks like Cindy Crawford. Look at the face. It's totally Cindy Crawford.
Yeah. This one is a Barbie figure. So yeah, it looks very feminine.
There's a slight difference.
Why is He-Man? Why?
I don't. It's this Barbie's Kin He-Man collectible, but it comes paired with the Tila figure.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
Yeah, I think he could work. That's Cullen.
Yeah.
What, is James Bond? No way.
I don't like this guy. I think he looks like a weasel, and I don't like him.
He does.
Fair enough.
Not only that, he married Dua Lipa, who's also, and this is just my personal opinion.
Okay.
I'm not, taking any responsibility here. I think she's a dumb idiot, and then he married her. Already lost points in my book. But even before that. But even before that, I saw a movie with him recently. It was a movie with Elizabeth Olsen, or whatever her name is, that she plays.
Yeah,
it's the movie that they're in the afterlife, and she treats her husband like crap and wants to go with some other guy. It is the most annoying movie. It was like they somehow managed to do that thing where they like take a dump on you with their stupid propaganda, and he was in it. And you know what? I have nothing good to say about him. I think that he looks like
fair. I just saw that one picture and it looked okay to me. That's all.
I saw him in a movie and his vibe doesn't give me a James Bond vibe at all. If I had to have a movie where there's like people in the house and some guy's knocking door to door selling them insurance who looks kind of slippery, this guy would be my casting for the insurance salesman that went door to door and looks slippery. James Bond, no fucking way. I would never let this guy be James Bond.
Wait, isn't Dua Lipa gay? I see a lot of pictures of her with women.
Yeah, this guy maybe also, I don't want to, again, I don't want to get in trouble here, and there's a lot of allegedlys, and here at Price of Reason, we want to be very, very careful.
Yes.
But this seems like the kind of guy who would like to be with Dua Lipa.
It could be a double beard situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sean doesn't know. Sean is absolutely baffled by all of this.
Yeah. Did you hear, by the way, a couple of people went to early test screenings of Toy Story 5 as like going to be a real bait and switch too. They're using Woody and Buzz in the marketing, but it's all Jesse. I think all Jesse. It's going to be a Jesse movie.
I have seen a few new screenshots that have been shared recently. Every one of them is Jesse centric. So yes, I think it is absolutely what is happening. They are going to bring in everything, and Jessie is going to be the main character. She's going to be the one that saves the kids from the screen time or whatever. Yeah, that's Price. That was Phantom suggesting something for a raid. I checked it out. It's Cinevere's stream, so I think it'd be fine.
Yeah, the original Toy Story 5 script didn't even have Buzz and Woody in there, so anything that they're in there is just going to be ancillary because the story's got nothing to do with either of them.
Yeah, it's fine. We can raid that place. So let's do that. Professor, do you have the names of the people?
Just a moment.
I'm still trying to picture a beard on top of a beard being a double beard.
that Turner guy is a beard on
He's
top of a beard.
he's
Yeah,
he's
Oh, too
ugly.
long. Hold on.
It's
He's
two
ugly.
people wearing beards, not a beard on a beard. It's just two
Double
people
beard.
with beards. Yeah.
I'm picturing that kid, the fake wizard, having two of his beards
Two of his
on at
beards.
the same time.
Oh, he did that. He did that this week. He had a little fake beard under his bigger fake beard.
We have, on Rumble, we have Phantom Monk, who's the moderator there, Double R Star, Leslie 5050, God Bless 5697, The Devastator 5319, Born to Be Down, Angelo DD, Radio Streamer, Folsom Lockdown, Darren Mai, who's also moderator, Joe Higachi, Dude Rosef 420, Elizabeth Quince, Third Railify, who did the raid. Thank you guys. Just Gino also did a raid, and thank you. Con, Adelis 24, Red RDN,
Redneck Renegade 03.
Renegade 03, Spuds 1964, DLDX, Neurodivergent 1, Antiderivative Jill, and all we needed was Toy Story 1 to 3. 4 already had me checked out. I don't think I ever finished 4. I think I watched it. They introduced a fork or something, and I was out. I don't think I didn't even go to the theater to watch it. I think I tried to watch it on TV or something.
Yeah,
I dozed off.
it was the most cynical cash grab I think I've ever seen in my life. Unbelievable that they bothered making that film. That trilogy of films, those 3 movies, are perfect together. They are they in those 3 movies, you have the character arcs for each of the different characters. You have all the themes that play out of found family and them, growing not just individually, but together as a group. And then in the end, all, willing to die. I mean, to see the end of their lives, but they're okay with that because they're together. I'm serious. I'm tearing up right now just thinking about it. I mean, the end of that third film is so amazing. It is so well done.
Yeah.
They're holding hands and they realize that this may be the end, but they still have each other. It's such an incredible movie. And
they should have stopped it too.
On top of all of the other great stuff that they do in 3, the hilariously like the anti-communist messaging and stuff that they managed to squeeze in there and everything, it's great. But anyway,
Spanish
those 3
buzz.
movies, those 3 movies together are perfect. There was no reason to ever introduce another one, but they gotta do their cash grabs, right? It's that's the way it is.
That's how I felt about 2. It should have, because at the end of it, Woody is like, no matter what happens, I'll always have my best friend with me. But I just wasn't a fan of 3.
Yeah. I liked 3. I liked 3 a lot, but 4 was a total cash grab.
I was checked out by then.
Mentioning the shorts, there's a number of the little shorts that they did in there that were way better than Toy Story 4.
Yeah, as long as they make money, though, they're not going to stop coming. That's the Disney way. So
this might be the one that ends it for them.
Toy Story Compton will be the next one. I don't know. You know what? That at least you piqued my interest. I'm willing to look at that.
Something different from that one. Let's see, over on YouTube, we had a bunch of our friends joining us this evening. Rebecca Gold.
Yo.
Dragonwise, Pete Roble, Valiant Goat, Jack S, G2S, Isaac 556X45, Corbin Griner, The Duxon, Putin, Lasher, Tom Baker, Jonathan Conroy, Echo 32, Echo 7, Keely Chow, Captain Tato Man, Trev Toon Art, Samsung, Marla Sharondoff, Georges Irex, Antiderivative Jill, The Real Sean Crummel, Ms. Sparkles, JJ1109, Jason Love Doctor Who, Moondog Main 2x2, Caleb Levine, Kuna Ritchie, Angry Sparrow, iLord Corey, The Real Head Case, Kodo Rob, Badfoot, Big Sur River, The Dead Man, Gavin Unit, Tomahawk 511, Goddess of Whim, Jason Webster, Phobos, Dutch Gradient, Darren M, and Bayona Rad. And yes, we did have a number of people supporting us this evening with super chats. So the Dead Man, Phobos, Jason Webster.
Did we
Dutch
get all
Gradient,
of them, or did I miss anything?
Darren M, Bayona Rad. I think you got them all. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, it's been a pleasure, gentlemen. This has been a very fun stream. I was happy we were all able to hang out, and we even to put a little robot head thing, even though I haven't seen him here today, but hopefully we'll see him soon.
He's always here in spirit.
And he's always here in spirit. And sometime maybe he'll join us just regular. Great having you here, Sean. Great seeing you again. Everybody was super excited that you were back. Everybody meaning me.
It's good to see. It's great to see you, Sean.
Good to see you, Sean. Ian the Mega Geek, I'm always happy to see you here. I know there's a time difference, but you joined us, and the stream is always better with you around. Phobos, friend of the channel, VIP friend of the channel. Great to have you here again. And Professor, always good, hanging out with you here. So thank you to all the panel. Thank you to everybody in the chat. And I guess now, after all these wonderful things that I've said, we can sign off, and we'll see you here. Today is Tuesday. We'll see you here on Thursday, because every Tuesday and Thursday, 11:45 p.m. Eastern, it's the Night Owl, and we'll see you then.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Ta-da.